Back in Peoria, James Shields warming up, getting ready to face the Colorado Rockies on a beautiful Friday night. Colorado will line up like this, put together by Walt Weiss in his third year as the manager in Colorado. Blackman in center, Tulowitzki at short, Cargo in right, Rosario at first base tonight. That's been an experiment for them. Brandon Barnes getting the start in left field. Rafael Inoa at third. Old friend Nick Hundley behind the plate. Kyle Kendrick, the pitcher, batting eighth. That is not a typo. And DJ LeMahieu at second base, hitting ninth. Padres starting pitcher James Shields. Scouting report brought to you by Hyundai.
Well, Jesse, let's take a look at James Shields. Fully loaded, meaning all complement of pitches tonight. Curveball, changeup, and also fastball on both sides of the plate. And building on his reputation. Very important to be the example for Tyson Ross, Andrew Kashner, and the rest of the pitching staff.
Fifth start of spring training for James Shields. He's got a 2.25 ERA in his first 12 innings of work here. You add that up with 16 strikeouts, 4 walks. It has been so far so good. And we're underway with a fastball called strike to Charlie Blackman. Blackman coming off the career year last year. He was an all-star, set career highs in most offensive numbers. Left-handed batter in that squatting position. Takes one a little bit inside from Shields. 1-1. Colorado last year, 96 losses. They finished fourth in the National League West. And the 96 losses, too shy of a franchise record. It started off okay for the Rockies in 2014. But it unraveled. On May 20th, they were 2 out in the National League West. And they were 6 over 500, and then the injuries hit. And they lost 76 of their last 116 games. Troy Tulowitzki not playing in the second half, a big part of those struggles. Blackman into right field for a base hit. That's Matt Kemp out there, and he'll get it back in. A leadoff single for Charlie Blackman in Colorado.
Well, Jesse, you see the success from the leadoff position of Charlie Blackman. Nice swing. Had a great start, as you said before, but what a great leadoff guy from the left side.
Padre defense here tonight in the outfield, left to right. Upton, Maben. You just saw Kemp on the infield. Middlebrooks and Amarista on the left side. Jerko Alonso on the right side. Derek Norris behind the plate, catching James Shields. Here is Troy Tulowitzki. He's looked great so far this spring. He is the gigantic question mark for the Rockies this season.
Yeah, you see him hitting second. Typically, he's going to probably hit third, but they're going to get as many at-bats because he started off the spring not playing, especially with Cargo behind him.
Quick pickoff move there from James Shields. That's something he's got in the arsenal.
Yeah, and that's great because you see the quick feet. You understand he can do that and get himself out of some innings with that quick move. Very athletic on the mound.
31 pickoffs in his career. That's 12th most all-time by a right-handed pitcher. Does a great job controlling the running game. And he delivers strike one to Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki's injury happened just 2 games after the All-Star break. And you see the career numbers. You know what kind of player he is. Already in his 10th season. But will he be able to stay healthy? And will he be in Colorado the entire year?
Yeah, not since 2011 he's played over 150 games. That's a problem, especially from the shortstop position. He just has that presence that you think about. But look at the games played in 2012, 2014. That's the guy that you expect to be out there, especially in a premier position like the shortstop position.
He was
a
arguably
dynamic player, excuse me, Jesse. Just a dynamic player and something they lean on for offensive production and defense.
Buckled by that one. 1-2 from Shields. Arguably the best player in the National League in the first half of last season. Tulowitzki was the leading vote getter in the National League for the All-Star votes. At the break, he led the National League in batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage. He was tied with Giancarlo Stanton for the most home runs in the National League. And as we said, the hip injury in Game 2 after the All-Star break ended his season.
Yeah, and I think the problem is, too, you say, here we go again. And here's Cargo, another guy that's been injured a lot. And you're talking about missed games, the production level. They're built. Their offense is built on these two.
Shields really working on the pickoff move tonight with Blackman over there. James Shields, for all of the talk about how good he is at holding runners on, hasn't had a ton of opportunities to do so here this spring. He's had a perfect 5-inning appearance. His last time out against the Cubs, he walked a couple of guys, but threw 5 no-hit innings. So not a ton of work out of the stretch here in a Padre uniform. Tulowitzki fouls that one out.
Jesse, I think every pitcher in spring training wants to be in the stretch. They want to check off those boxes to see what they've had struggle at times, how to get out of innings, and his success, like we talked about earlier, the strikeouts, the dominating innings. He wants to be in the stretch tonight. That is something that's very difficult to want to be in the stretch. But you see this, and now he can work on his pickoff move. You can see the different times. This is a guy that really believes that he can do all facets of pitching on the mound.
Another throw to first. This time it gets away from Alonso, and so Blackmon's going to hustle down to second base and make it. That's part of the deal when you're trying to control a running game with pickoff throws.
Well, it's also pickoff throws, and you're seeing Alonso taking those throws as well. Here's the throw just into the runner, and ricochets off that right arm of Charlie Blackmon.
So an early runner in scoring position for the Rockies and an error on James Shields. Meanwhile, still a 1-2 count to Troy Tulowitzki. Now they get to work on those pickoff plays at second base.
See time plays here, holding the runners, trying to keep them on second base.
Tulowitzki and Shields with a nice little battle here. Like Shields, Tulowitzki, a good spring so far. He's hitting .375, 3 homers in Cactus League play. But again, will he be able to stay healthy, and will he finish the year with the Rockies? A lot of people think maybe that second question will be answered based upon how well this team does.
Yeah, because these are movable parts. And I think a lot of people in baseball love these type of players. As you see the changeup putting him away there.
Nice battle between those two. James Shields comes out on top. Loves the changeup.
Yeah, we see the arm speed too. Even on slow-mo, you see him just whipping through, looking like that fastball, and you see the awkward swing by Troy Tulowitzki. James Shields believes he can go to that pitch at any time, and that is such a weapon. He can start a hitter off. He can finish hitters off.
Carlos Gonzalez last year, part of that injury parade for the Rockies. He takes a first pitch strike from Shields. In June, it was the finger. In August, it was the knee. That finished him. And you see just 70 games played last season. The Rockies didn't necessarily have the most guys on the DL last year, but they had some key guys on the DL last year, and it did not help things out. And now Shields ahead of him, 0-2.
One of the nicest left-handed swings, in my opinion. That's a power guy, but also can go to all fields. And when you play at Coors Field, you have confidence going anywhere. But this is a guy on the road that will also put up big numbers. Kind of a streaky guy, but when he gets hot, watch out.
Does a nice job defensively in the outfield as well. Primarily going to be in right field this season. Shields ahead of him, 0-2. The long pause. Look out. And the ball's going to get away from Norris as Blackmon advances to third. So Cargo dusted off a little bit.
Let's take a look at this fastball. Just rides in on the left-hander. Almost a purpose pitch to come in, up and in, but that just rode a little bit further in. It looked like he pulled that pitch a little. Every time you move a hitter's feet, it's that uncomfortable feeling, but you'll see a lot of these primetime hitters that'll look on the outside part of the plate, look for that breaking ball and adjust.
Runner on third, 1 out, and now a 1-2 pitch coming to Gonzalez. Not pitching by much. 2-2.
That phrase, hard in, soft away, that we typically hear so many times. Well, these good hitters will start picking out locations. Try to drive the ball.
Gonzalez, a .360 average here in spring training. Like Tulowitzki, got a little bit of a late start. And you see the numbers in his career with runners in scoring position. Good hitters, generally good numbers in these spots.
And what they'll do is use the middle of the field. They'll cut their swing down just a little bit. Easier approach, but they get locked in, especially when this runner's in scoring position. See if he goes to the changeup here.
It's a fastball and a broken bat that just misses Shields. That'll get the run in as Jerko throws Gonzalez out at first base. That bat shattered, and a couple of big pieces came back towards the mound. Luckily, looks like they all missed James Shields.
This is just so scary, and he gets his foot down. You see him cut his swing down just to pull his hands in to get to that pitch, but that ball's riding in on him. Very scary from James Shields' perspective, seeing that bat come at him.
Big pieces on either side of Shields. Rockies take a 1-0 lead on the ground out. 2 away bases empty now. Shields can go back to the lineup. The windup against Willeen Rosario. Rosario, another interesting story for the Rockies. Everyday catcher last year. We did have a couple of stints on the disabled list. Notice a pattern. Now they're trying him out at first base a decent amount here in the spring, and he's off on that first offering. 0-1.
Well, they love their offensive side, but the addition of former Padre Nick Hundley puts him in limbo. Are they going to carry 3 catchers? Are they going to play him at first base like tonight to try to get some at bats for him? I mean, interesting scenario, trying to build some trade value as well.
Lays off that one from Shields. No, he did not. They appeal down to first base and get the strike called. And so now 0-2 to Rosario. You mentioned the bat. He's had 65 home runs as a catcher, more than any Rocky backstop. The 0-2 in the dirt. Shields having to work a little bit here. Expect him to go 5 or 6 innings, maybe 80 to 90 pitches here tonight as these starters continue to get stretched out for the start of the regular season. On the same page. And the 1-2 hit on the ground to third. It's off the bag, but nicely done by Middlebrooks. Alonso with the scoop. And a good play at the hot corner by Will Middlebrooks. James Shields allows 1. Matt Kemp coming up third. Rockies with a first inning run as we go to the bottom of the first. Rockies get 1 in the top half of the first. Now the Padres turn in the bottom half. Lineup for Buddy Black here tonight. Maven in center. Alonso at first. Matt Kemp coming up third this inning. He's in right field. Justin Upton cleaning up in left. Carlos Quentin the DH tonight. Will Middlebrooks at third. Jerko at second. Derek Norris behind the plate. And the shortstop Alexi Amarista will bat ninth for the Padres against Kyle Kendrick. First year in a Colorado uniform after 8 seasons in Philadelphia.
Yeah, strike one lets him expand the strike zone. He has to live on the edges. He loves his changeup and a cutter. This is a guy coming off career highs, innings, strikeouts, and starts. But you also have to change speeds. This isn't a guy that intimidates you, but he needs strike one to expand the strike zone.
Rockies, one of the most skilled and gifted defensive teams in the National League, behind Kyle Kendrick here tonight. Cameron Maben stands in, making his 12th start of the spring. Good start for Cam here in Cactus League play. A .316 average, a homer, 5 RBIs. And Kendrick will be the opening day starter for Walt Weiss and the Rockies. Delivers strike one.
Yeah, you'll see a two-seamer, also a cutter off the fastball, but you'll see a curveball and a changeup. Likes to speed him up by pitching in as well to the right-handers.
Change-up, a big deal when you're talking about pitching in Colorado. That fastball misses to Maben because of the altitude, which has been discussed quite a bit when it comes to offense. The breaking balls don't really break as much, or you've got to work harder to get them to break. And so the Rockies, up and down their system, teaching the changeup, because that's a pitch that can maybe better be used when pitching at Coors Field.
Such a great point, Jesse. And the time that I spent in Colorado is the guys that had success are the fastball changeup combination. But you also have to locate. Well, who doesn't teach a changeup? It's a tough pitch in general, but the breaking ball does stay elevated at times in Coors Field, and you get in trouble with that.
Signed as a free agent back in February as Maben sends that one up the elevator shaft. Enoa, the third baseman tonight, in place of Arenado. No sun to fight here tonight, and he makes the catch, one away.
Yeah, perfect night here.
Mentioned the Colorado defense, and they are skilled. Arenado getting the night off, so you just saw Enoa. But Tulowitzki, LeMahieu, Rosario around the infield. Nick Hundley, the former Padre, behind the plate. And in the outfield, Barnes, Blackman, and Gonzalez. Troy Tulowitzki, Gold Glove shortstop. DJ LeMahieu at second, a Gold Glover. And a shift against Yonder Alonso. And he breaks his bat and lines that one softly to center field for a base hit. So Yonder sawed off. Comes up with the first hit of the ninth for the Padres. One out base runner here in the first.
Well, you're seeing the approach by Yonder Alonso going the other way, which I love to see. Yes, you don't love breaking your bat, but the single and the approach and the style of what's going on. Watch him try to fight his hands inside this baseball. The barrel breaks, but it's the approach. It's where he's trying to drive the baseball, which is ideally to left center in that right center gap. Sometimes he gets pull conscious. That's the reason why they're trying to shift on him.
Alonso yesterday in the game at the Diamondbacks was 3 for 3 with a walk. And a base hit to start things off here tonight as Matt Kemp stands in. See the numbers last year, and a lot of that damage coming in the second half of the season, and he appears to have picked up right where he left off. The numbers this spring have been off the charts for Kemp. Kendrick's opportunity to work out of the stretch, and Kemp laces that one to left center field. Blackman's not going to get there. Alonso's on the move. He will be held at third, and it's a stand-up double for Matt Kemp. Fourth two-bagger of the spring, and another hard-hit ball off his bat.
Oh, what an approach, and a simple approach for Matt Kemp. Modify that leg kick, put the foot down, and then drive the ball into the gap. These big gaps out here in Arizona, but what a great swing by Matt Kemp, second and third, and the Padres are in great position here.
Kemp 3, Upton 4.
It's such a great sound. Talk about the presence. And every pitcher that's on the mound thinks about not making a mistake to those guys in the middle of the order.
Down a run, a scoring situation presenting itself for the Padres here in the bottom of the first as Kendrick delivers strike one to a idly standing by Justin Upton. Defense will stay back for the Rockies. Upton with a .289 average this spring. He's left the yard 3 times. He's got 6 doubles in Cactus League play. And like Kemp has been hitting the ball hard. Nice to see Glenn Hoffman back in the third base coach's box.
Yeah, he's feeling good. Coming off of that surgery with the bone spur that he released. But he got on in the third base box. Feels very good. Very excited to get out there. He's moving around real good.
Barely missed any time after having the procedure on his knee. Kendrick ahead of Upton. One ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Jesse, you look at Matt Kemp, and talking to some people around the organization, they love the fact that he's taken that leadership role. And why I say that is because up in L.A. there was a lot of leaders that tried to step up and minimized Matt Kemp in that locker room. I think he's embracing this challenge. That is much needed in that locker room and also in the dugout.
You've seen him in the middle of everything so far this spring for the Padres, and whether it's the three-point shooting competition that Buddy Black puts on every year, or whether it's just guys talking around the batting cage, Matt Kemp is visible and vocal. 1-2 coming Upton. And that's hit well out to center field. Blackman again going to try and chase it down. And on the warning track, he makes the catch. That'll get the run in. Both runners tag. Kemp goes to third. And back-to-back hard hit balls from Matt Kemp and Justin Upton.
Perfect approach for an RBI situation for Justin Upton. You look at the swing and that low stride spreads out just a little bit, and the carry on his baseball, you're going to see a lot of that. He backspins the baseball because he uses lower half so well. Simple mechanics, and you see him driving the baseball for the RBI.
Carlos Quentin, the designated hitter here tonight. Padres electing to use the DH. Rockies declining the opportunity here in spring training. And Q holds off on that one. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, if you're looking at Kendrick too, he's missing up in the strike zone. This is going to be very important to see. This isn't a guy that has intimidating stuff. You have to stay in the strike zone. You have to stay in your approach. You're going to get a good pitch to hit.
Checks his swing, but that time a called strike. 1-1. Saw the 5 RBI for Quentin here in the spring. One of them coming against the Rockies. RBI single back on March 8th. Third time this spring these two teams are locking up. Padres won here on the 8th. Padres won there on the 18th. Inside ball 2. Divisional games always interesting in spring training, and the approaches that different teams take at different points in the spring. The other day, the Padres and the Dodgers locked up, and it was kind of Ian Kennedy's turn in the rotation, and Buddy Black kept him back here. Threw in a minor league intra-squad game.
Yeah, I heard Curt Schilling was always like that too. If he played division games in spring training, he always wanted to pitch on the backfields. He felt that that was an edge for them. He didn't want to give them looks. You look at James Shields, I don't think he cares. It's that mentality that I think a pitcher's going to have, but you lock horns and you understand you're going to play them so many times, 18, 19 times a year. I say you get after it, and whoever's better is going to win those battles.
Teams will meet for the first time in the regular season on April 20th. 4-game series at Coors Field. 2-2 to Quentin, and he hammers one down the left field line, but it will go foul. Some hard hit balls off of Kyle Kendrick here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and you see in those elevated pitches, the changeup that he's in front of there. Well, what I love to see about Carlos Quentin is he's down on his knees. That tells me his lower half is stronger, feels more comfortable. And that was his stance. He had to modify that last year, stand a little taller. But this is the approach, and this is the Carlos Quentin that I've seen in years past.
Takes that one outside for ball 3. We've seen Quentin in the DH spot this spring. We've seen him in left field. We've seen him a couple of times at first base. Matt Kemp mostly in right field. And that's where you can expect him to be all season long at Petco Park.
Oh, I know a lot of Padre fans are excited about this. I am too. It's a great lineup and a deep pitching staff for the Padres.
Payoff pitch to Quentin and a slow roller to the right side. Could be tricky for Rosario. Nice flip. And the unfamiliar position for Willeen Rosario, but he's able to make the play. Matt Kemp with a big double. Justin Upton with an RBI. Tied after 1.
Welcome back to Arizona. The Padres tie things up at 1 apiece here in the top of the second. And there's a new name here around Padres camp. It is Yandel Gustave. The 22-year-old pitcher was acquired off of waivers from the Royals. Pretty interesting story. Back in 2010, he was drafted by the Houston Astros and then was acquired by the Red Sox this past winter in the Rule 5 MLB draft, then traded to the Royals. It is now part of the Padres, so it's been quite an interesting last few months for him. Talked to him today. He said, it's been difficult jumping from team to team, but said, I'm trying just to remember that this is baseball. And he's coming out here wanting to compete for a spot in this bullpen, a very talented bullpen at that. We asked him, how fast do you throw? And he laughed. He said, I've reached 101 to 102 when I was playing in the Dominican. He won't pitch here tonight. Your first chance to see him will be tomorrow night against the Rangers.
Chris, thanks a lot. He was sort of sheepish about it. 101, 102. Another hard thrower for Buddy Black to take a look at.
And why not?
Gustave.
I think you have to take a look at him. That's a prized arm, and if you can corral that, because he does have issues of repeating his delivery, which you're going to hear a lot from single-A players, but they said he pitches right around 100 miles an hour. It's not just touching 100 miles an hour and you pitch at 95. So that's an arm that you definitely want to take a peek at.
1-2 to Brandon Barnes. Yeah, Gustave spent all of last year with A-ball Quad Cities in the Astro organization as a reliever, a 0.78 ERA. His numbers as a starter weren't nearly that impressive, but yeah, it's worth a look. You got all these extra roster spots in spring training. You bring him out here, see what he can do. And as Chris said,
there's nothing wrong with that, going after somebody that has that prized arm.
Derek Norris behind the plate, tracking that one down, making the catch. Barnes retired for the first out here in the second. James Shields allowed a run in the first inning. Wasn't exactly like Colorado was knocking him around the yard. No sunscreen needed here tonight. Great atmosphere here in Peoria. Just a few more chances to see the Padres here in spring training before they come back to San Diego.
Yeah, it's getting close. I think a lot of the players have that on their mind, that the excitement of opening day and going home and trying to get out of Arizona. This is the time where they want to finish their work off. But now they're starting to amp up and get in that game mode.
Switch hitting, Rafael Inoa. Fouls that one off. 0-2. Nolan Arenado will be the everyday third baseman for Colorado. As you are most likely aware, he does it defensively about as well as anybody at the hot corner in baseball. But a nice piece on the bench.
Yeah, this is a perfect National League guy for Walt Weiss to insert in any part of the infield, especially the middle of the infield.
We saw him last September. He made his big league debut on September 1st. And in his debut, not bad, right? 3 for 4 with an RBI against the Giants.
It's a good showing.
Ball and 2 strikes from Shields. And that one's hit pretty well out to left center. Upton and Maben both giving it a look. And Upton makes the catch for the second out of the inning. And if you've been watching spring training games, you can probably tell the ball doesn't quite carry the same at night here as it does during the day.
Yeah, it does travel, and we always talk about how big the outfield is, and I think a lot of people are talking about the outfield defense for the San Diego Padres. They're going to have to defend themselves in the right positions, try to expose certain areas of the outfield, but you see the athletic ability out there in Matt Kemp, Cameron Maben tonight in center field, and also Justin Upton going in the gap to get that.
Nick Hundley takes one outside. 510 games in a Padre uniform for Nick Hundley, second-round pick back in 2005. Pods, of course, sent him to the Orioles last May. And probably the guy that's going to be the regular starting catcher for Colorado this year. Big defensive upgrade for them at that position.
And they need that. And that's exactly what you're going to get from Nick Hundley. Last year going through a 3-catcher situation starting the year with San Diego. Now he finds himself in that same scenario with the Rockies possibly.
There's a strike from Shields. McHenry, Rosario, Hundley. But Nick is the class defensively of that group. Made his major league debut with the Padres back in 2008. Fouls that one back, 2-2.
Well, I think the offensive numbers are going to spike just a little bit for Nick Hundley in Coors Field. But they need that veteran that's going to run a pitching staff, and that's what they want from Nick Hundley. We'll talk about that chemistry tonight within the catcher and pitcher relationship, and Nick Hundley is the experienced veteran that's going to get that done for the Rockies staff.
Asks for time there. And we'll wait on the 2-2 pitch from James Shields. Fouled off at the plate. You know, you're sort of tempted to say, with a catcher used to play for your team, well, he knows the staff and he knows the lineup up and down, but you take a look at the Padres and there's so many changes. It's not like he's got a book on all of these new hitters, though of course he saw Kemp plenty and Upton in National League West, but not quite the team he left last May.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those scenarios that a mistake happens a lot in Coors Field, and if you make a mistake to this Padre lineup now, you're going to get hurt. And I think every catcher is going to feel that way. So it's going to be interesting to see what Nick Hundley and the rest of the NL West catchers do to this potent San Diego Padres lineup. Isn't that nice to say? To hear the production value that they have in this Padre lineup.
Spring training stats are just that, spring training stats, with the Padres scoring the 5th most runs per game in the National League this spring. Another foul ball from Hundley.
Yeah, that was a mistake by James right there on the short little slider that crept over the middle of the plate. I don't think James felt very good about the location of this. This was a little more over the center of the plate that he wanted.
Hundley fouled it back to the screen, and so another 2-2 from Shields. Doesn't miss by much. And now a full count, 3-2 to the former Padre.
I think that might have hit the corner. That ran back very well on that two-seamer.
Got him. Change up from James Shields, and strikeout number 2 for the Padres starters. Bottom of the second coming up. Middlebrooks, Jerko, and Norris. Will Middlebrooks going to lead it off here in the bottom of the second for the Padres. Third base has been a big topic of conversation this spring. Middlebrooks traded for Jan Hervis Solarte. Same thing last year. We saw him have a pretty nice season with the Padres so far this spring. Boy, those are some good numbers across the board.
Yeah, and you look at the numbers from Solarte, and he continues to play very well in spring training. But you look at Middlebrooks, you're talking about upside and what he has shown this spring, and is very confident. Made a great play in the first inning, and the inning with a ground ball off the base. Good feed at third base, but I think this is a strength using both of those elements and both of those guys leading into the season.
Early on in this spring, we thought we might see Middlebrooks at first base at times, but it has been all hot corner for Will Middlebrooks here in spring training. 16 starts at third base so far. Solarte's had 7. We've also seen Jan Hervis other positions around the diamond as the first pitch misses up to Middlebrooks. Solarte's been at first, he's been at second, and kind of like what you were saying about Rafael Ynoa in the top of the inning, Solarte, really nice piece on a National League team. Injury troubles last year for Middlebrooks. A couple of stints on the disabled list with the Red Sox. He had a calf early on in the season and a broken finger later in the year. He's healthy now. And as you just saw, doing a good job for Buddy Black, not just at the plate, but he's been really special at third defensively. And now ahead of Kyle Kendrick, 3 balls and no strikes.
Jesse, you look at the staff right there and watching Will Middlebrooks. This is a young man that's going to embrace it because it's opportunities. Every player wants an opportunity to play every single day. And they're going to try to seize that with playing very well at the beginning of the season. For Will Middlebrooks, it's a second chance, so to speak. But this is a guy with huge upside.
Tomorrow's starter, Tyson Ross, sitting between Buddy Black and AAA manager Pat Murphy. Pat will join us coming up in a couple of innings. 3-1, and Middlebrooks stings that one out to shallow center. Blackman coming on, as is Gonzalez, and it falls in front of him. Third hit of the night for the Padres. Leadoff single for Will Middlebrooks here in the second. Jed Jerko. See the numbers in spring training as he starts to get it going a little bit here. Been working hard with Mark Kotze and Alonzo Powell, the hitting coaches. Extra time in the cage. Trying to get himself in a good place for the start of the season. Out in front of that one, 0-1.
Jesse, with Jed Jerko, you look at a lot of pitches, and especially that first pitch cutter to him, trying to expose him out of the strike zone. You got to try to stay inside the strike zone, but also work the ball down, work to your strength, because Jed Jerko, if he gets that ball down and in, it's going to be doing some damage.
Had a 3-hit game on Monday against the White Sox. Takes that one inside. 1-1.
Well, typically you'll see teams in a scouting report use the same philosophy. A lot of sliders outside to Jed Jerko and elevate late in that at bat. Jed Jerko just has to set his sights down just a little bit and go to your strength, especially early in the count.
Kendrick delivers a 1-1 in on the hands, 2 balls and a strike. And Buddy Black has said it. The aggressiveness that comes naturally to Jed Jerko at times last year was exploited. It's part of the deal for a young hitter. Got to remember, he's still a young guy.
Yeah, and he was pushed to a level, in my opinion, to hit in spots of the order that really wasn't ready for him. And now with the complement of players, he's suited to get in those spots in the order that he can sort of develop in the game. A lot of the talk we said in the open with Yonder Alonso, same thing with Jed Jerko. I don't think they've had a firm opportunity to develop in the game at the right spots of the order where they fit.
Last year, 111 games. Foot injury cost him some time. Still led the team in RBI with 51. Short lead for Middlebrooks, and Jerko can't hold up. Another changeup from Kendrick.
Well, some people out there might say, why doesn't he stay off of those sliders? Well, it gives you the appearance of a fastball look. That's the reason why he's trying to fire on it. And for Mark Kotze and Alonzo Powell, the hitting coaches for the Padres, they would like to stay in the strike zone just a little bit more, and keep him on the baseball, that right center approach.
Two is off the handle of the bat into shallow left center field, and Blackman drifts over to make the catch. Middlebrooks back to first base, 1 away. Kendrick going to be the opening day starter for Walt Weiss. 30-year-old in his first year in a Rocky uniform. Last year at the Phillies, 10-13, a 4.61 ERA as Derek Norris steps in. See his numbers last year, an all-star with the Athletics. One of the many new pieces for Buddy Black here in 2015.
And he's trying to hone in his swing too, and the last few days has been locked in.
He got off to a slow start at the plate. But 2 hits yesterday at Arizona, and on Wednesday at the Dodgers, a couple of hits including a 2-run home run.
I think the focus for any catcher that's coming over to a new staff is defense first, and then the offense hopefully catches up. Well, you're seeing that from Derek Norris.
Tips that one into the mid of Hundley. 1 ball and 1 strike. Catching situation for the Padres right now, a little bit different than it was at the start of spring training. Tim Fedorovich brought in as part of that deal with the Dodgers for Matt Kemp. Was competing for the number 2 job in back of Norris, but he suffered a knee injury and isn't expected back until the All-Star break at the earliest. Norris lays off that one. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, Jesse, everybody wants to separate defense from offense, but priority number 1 for a starting catcher is to come in and figure out what Tyson Ross wants to do. Watching film, having conversations with him. Talked to longtime veteran catcher Jamie Quirk, who's in the organization with the Padres. He said, listen, as many conversations as you can with your starters especially, but the whole pitching staff.
That's a called strike to Norris right at the knees.
But you have to have those conversations. You have to know what they want to do in those crucial situations. And the chemistry is paramount when it comes to catcher-pitcher relationship.
And it's a work in progress. It always is, but especially with a new guy coming in. And they hope he can catch about 120 games this year. Hits that one out to left center field. Barnes coming in, not going to get there. Middlebrooks took an aggressive turn at second, but now heads back to the bag. And runners on first and second for the Padres with 1 away. And Alexi Amarista coming to the plate. Another hit for Derek Norris.
Well, it's just got to feel good because now he's starting to get that timing. That foot gets down and you see the hands working. That's a little bit out in front off the end of the bat, but dumps it into left center. But now he's starting to get that confidence offensively. There's not one position player wants to struggle in spring training. And you hear so many phrases, hey, save those for the season. No, it's about getting hits and feeling comfortable in the batter's box, and that's what he looks like to me.
2 hits on Wednesday, 2 hits yesterday, and now a base hit in his first at bat here tonight. Little Ninja. Alexi Amarista making his 12th start of spring training at shortstop tonight. Same exact number as Clint Barmas. Waves the bat and takes ball 1 low.
Talking about a confident player. And you see Alexi around the locker room and walking on the field. There's a lot of confidence in this young man. And he's embracing this challenge. Along with Clint Barmas, the other shortstop that's playing. Gives you that veteran leadership, but also some experience and some knowledge to Alexi as well.
Hits that one out to center. Blackman drifting back. Makes the catch. Middlebrooks going to try and go second or third, and he will do so easily. Now runners on the corners 2 away for the Padres as the order turns over.
Well, I like that base running by Will Middlebrooks. Because it's a soft fly ball, and a lot of schooling with 1 out is going halfway. But he knows that ball's going to be caught. He reads Blackman and advances to third base.
Kendrick. At least 10 wins, at least 10 losses each of the last 3 years. Gives you a sense that he works into games, goes out there. Sure, part of the reason he was attractive to Colorado in free agency. They need innings out of their starters. The most used bullpen by a lot in baseball last year as Maven takes pitch outside 1-0.
Yeah, and with the starting rotation in Philadelphia, Kyle Kendrick only 2 years as being a full-time starter. So that you understand from the Colorado Rockies perspective, they want to eat innings like you said, Jesse, but also it's almost a fresh arm. He's pitched in different scenarios. He's pitched out of the bullpen. But he knows how to manipulate a lineup, and you see that he has to work the edges. Tonight we're seeing it elevated just a little bit, but he has a lot of pitches to work the edges, the cutter, the two-seamer going back, and Walt Weiss needs that guy to eat innings at the top of the rotation.
New general manager in Colorado, and a lot of talk about how Walt Weiss's role and profile a little bit higher now in the organization. The grab all over to shortstop. No problem for Tulowitzki. And his side is retired. Padres make a little bit of noise, but they leave 2 here in the second. We'll go to the third in Peoria. 1-1.
Welcome back to Arizona here in the top of the third. Score is tied at 1, and I'm joined with Will Myers, who earned a well-deserved day off today. So thanks for joining me. How's your spring going so far?
It's going great. You know, I'm really enjoying it, really enjoying all the new guys. Everybody's been really cool so far. We got a great group of guys here with good team chemistry.
You played some center field in the minors, working again, playing it in the major leagues. How has it been working with Fungo Man and Dave Roberts, and how much has that helped in your development in that position?
It's been great. You know, Dave's a great guy. He's obviously, you know, had a great career. He's done well in the outfield, and, you know, I'm trying to take bits and pieces from his game. The Fungo Man's great. You know, it can shoot it wherever it wants, so that's pretty fun. But, you know, just working with Doc, I mean, he's great, man. He's really taught me a lot so far, and I've enjoyed working with him.
For you at the plate, with about, I guess, 10 days or so until opening day, is there a number of at-bats that you look for to where you know that you're seeing the ball well and you'd be ready to go for opening day?
I don't know if there's an exact number. You know, I think it's one of those things, getting into the last week, you really want to lock in and, you know, not really work on anything. You really want to work on, you know, just trying to win the games. And, you know, this last week coming up, that's what I really want to focus on, you know, getting on base to start a game and, you know, helping our team win.
I know the last week's been tough for you when your old teammate Will Ferrell got designated for assignment. In all seriousness, we haven't gotten to talk to you after that game. What was that experience like for you to share an outfield with Will Ferrell?
Oh, it was unreal, man. I mean, that's, you know, if there's one guy in the whole world I want to picture with or just meet, it's that guy, you know. I mean, I love all his movies. I'm a big fan of his, and, you know, it was great to be able to play out here with him. I took a picture with him. I, made it my profile picture for everything, so it was cool, man. He's a great guy. He seemed down to earth, and had a lot of fun with that.
Hey, behind the scenes, is he just as funny as he seems on camera?
He's almost the exact same as on camera. Yeah, it was pretty incredible. I felt like I was in a movie talking to him, so it was really cool.
Well, I appreciate the time. Good luck the rest of spring. Guys?
Chris, Will, thanks a lot. James Shields having to work hard here against the pitcher, Kyle Kendrick. You can tell Will Myers brings some very real personality to the Padre clubhouse.
Yeah, it was, and it's a youthful exuberance that you really want. You know, sometimes you went into that locker room, and we're exposed to that a lot. You didn't have that fun atmosphere. Well, you see it right there, and I think that's the best part of this chemistry that he's talking about. They're forming down here, which is very much needed when you start going into that battle situation of playing in April.
Another 3-2 pitch coming to Kendrick, and he pops it up. Looks like Jerko is going to drift back and make the catch for the first out here in the third inning. You heard Chris asking Will Myers about Fungo Man. If you are not initiated, Fungo Man is a robot that hits fly balls. It's a remote-controlled machine, and it's great for the coaches. It saves their arms and their shoulders and their wrists, but they can really accurately, shoot fly balls into the outfield and change the trajectories and the distance and the angles, and it's great for those outfielders working to track balls.
Yeah, Jesse, I'll tell you this, too. As a former outfielder that didn't use his glove too much, I would have hated Fungo Man. I mean, you're running in the gaps. They're shooting these balls, and we always talk about how big the outfields are. Well, they might say they like it, but they want to get out of Arizona and just play the game, and that's what Will Myers is doing. But he's working hard. They're all working hard out there, and that's a part of it. But Dave Roberts loves it. These guys are putting that time into it because you have to have these players buy into your system, and that's what they're getting. Will Myers is embracing that center field role, and I can't wait to see it. A lot of people are putting these guys down. These are guys that have a lot of pride in their craft.
Oh, he's very excited about it. 2 to LeMahieu, and he swings and misses. Nice job by Norris keeping that one out of the dirt. And it's 3 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings so far for James Shields. He asked Myers about center and how big it is at Petco. He goes, it's only like 398 to center. It's not that big.
Yeah, take a look over your left shoulder and see how far that is. And, they're getting exposed to big outfields here in Arizona, and this is not an easy outfield play when you come down to spring training. A lot of high sky, and tonight obviously playing a night game, adapting to the lights. But Will Myers is going to be fine. He's very athletic, and you see the amount of games played. When you play that many in the minor leagues, I don't care where you play, you understand what the ball's going to do off the bat. He's done that before.
Charlie Blackmon takes strike 1 from Shields. Yeah, it's easy to say, he doesn't have big league experience out in center, but 100 games in the minors, nothing to scoff at.
Well, you got to have the speed and you have to have the athletic ability. I played a lot of center field in college. Well, I got to the minor leagues and they put me on the corners for a reason. There's a lot of guys in the game that can go out there and get those fly balls and track them down. And Will Myers has that athletic ability, the long strides. Doesn't look like he's running fast, but he gains ground. And I think a key to this outfield this year is positioning and how they're going to have to position each individual hitter.
1-1 is rocketed up the middle by Charlie Blackmon. His second hit and as many trips to the plate. 2-out single for the Rockies here in the third, and that'll get Tulowitzki up for Colorado. Yeah, Myers is motivated, not just to show people defensively that he's capable out there in center field, but this is a guy that, 2 years ago for the Rays was the Rookie of the Year in the American League. Hit .293. 13 homers in just 88 games. And last year he had some wrist trouble. And it kind of feels, I think, a little bit maybe like Tampa Bay gave up on him and using that for motivation here with San Diego.
Not one player wants to be traded unless you're a veteran guy that tries to handpick his scenario. And when you get traded, you're offended first. And then you understand that other team wants you. And then you embrace that challenge.
Tulowitzki 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Goes fishing on the first pitch and fouls it into the seats.
Jesse, we've discussed with Will Middlebrooks having that upside. Well, Will Myers has that upside that can change a game, and you're looking for him to have that breakout year. When you have breakout years from that ability, and then you look to your left, you have Matt Kemp. You look to your right, you have Justin Upton. Those guys do their own damage to have something special building.
Myers also a guy that Buddy Black can use at the top of the batting order. He's done that quite a bit here in spring training. No real prototypical leadoff guy for San Diego on the roster, but that's the case for most teams these days. 0-1 to Tulowitzki, and now 0-2.
Yeah, to your point, the naysayers out there, well, typically if you look at the Milwaukee Brewers, you got Carlos Gomez, not a typical leadoff guy, but the guy that can do damage and hit that home run for you, that leadoff home run, and also change games.
Shields got Tulowitzki in the first, and close play over at first. Blackmon just barely gets back.
Yeah, and that throw took him the glove right into the back of Charlie Blackmon. He cut this ball, and you see that throw. I think he had it was pretty close.
No replay challenges in spring training this year. But expanded replay is back for the regular season, and in fact a little bit more expanded this year, although not dramatically. 0-2, just misses. Ball and 2 strikes. Talked about the 31 career pickoffs for James Shields. It's fun watching him control the running game because it isn't just the quick move. It's the way he changes his pacing.
I love that. Controlling the running game is very important, and he's showing it to Charlie Blackmon. And during the year, this is going to come into play.
Long pause this time, and the 1-2 to Tulowitzki is a check swing, foul ball, back to the screen.
And when you're holding and you're changing the tempo and you have 2 strikes on you as the hitter, it's very distracting. And you get into that fastball mode because you know you have a base stealer at first base. But James Shields also showing that slide step, the changeup off the slide step, the curveball, the changeup, and the cutter.
Another 1-2, and that's hit well out to center field. Maben into the gap. On the warning track, or just in front of it, makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs a hit, and a man left for the Rockies in the 3rd. Alonso, Kemp, and Upton coming up. Tied up in the bottom of the 3rd inning here in Peoria, Rockies and the Padres. Thursday on Fox Sports San Diego, you can catch the final episode of Aztec Basketball with Steve Fisher as the players and coaches look back on this past season. Thursday, 10 o'clock on Fox Sports San Diego.
Jesse, Chris Budden does a great job on that show. Also filling in, Mike Pomeranz does a great job on that show as well.
Fun year to look back at, too, and congrats to the Aztecs on their run in the NCAA tournament. Picking up a victory in Charlotte before they had to play, let's call that a road game against Duke. Can we do that?
Of course we can.
Yonder Alonso. 1 for 1 with a run scored.
See if Yonder lays a bunt down here.
There you go, against the shift. And he fouled it off at the plate.
All right. Well, the hard thing is, too, Jesse, with that defensive shift, as we see Tulowitzki on that right side of the infield, 3 on the right. See a lot of guys trying to lay that bunt down, but when you see that, you're going to see a lot of fastballs in, the cutter in there, and also that soft changeup or soft breaking ball away. They want to force the hitter to pull to that right side.
It all has to work in concert. Yonder breaks his bat again, I think. Matt Kemp waits, and Alonso with the broken bat single his first time up. Loses a pretty big chip off that piece of lumber and gets a new bat.
Yeah, a lot of shrapnel out there tonight.
Gets the hammer ready to go, and now an 0-2 count.
Yeah, that's the motor stick that they put on their bats, that tactified, so it keeps you sticky around that handle area. A lot of hitters will use that.
Oh, 2 from Kendrick. And that's roped into right field. It's going to get down in front of Gonzalez. Yonder Alonso 2 for 2 tonight with a couple of singles. And a guy that's been in a nice groove. 3-hit game yesterday. Picks up his second here tonight.
Yeah, you talk about the left center approach, but when they start exposing you inside, you start pulling the ball correctly. That's exactly what Yonder Alonso does right here. That's a mistake that's elevated, which makes it easier for the hitter to adjust to. Nice hitting by Yonder Alonso.
Big toe of James Shields receiving a little bit of attention from Paul Navarro, athletic trainer for the Padres.
He's a gamer.
Matt Kemp's a gamer, and he hit the ball hard his first time up. Takes a strike, 0-1. Kemp doubled in the first inning. One and one.
Yeah, Jesse watched over, and I know you did too, Salt River Fields yesterday against the Diamondbacks. Matt Kemp not feeling great at the plate yesterday. You could tell it, his mannerisms a little bit, but in an RBI situation, he fought himself off with 2 strikes and driving those runs in. He looks very calm in the batter's box to me, and that's a great feeling because the game speeds up at times, makes it hard for the hitters, but Matt Kemp looks very comfortable to me.
It's been fun watching him these first few weeks in a Padre uniform. Talked about the clubhouse stuff earlier, but on the field it's been just as good. Nice stop by Hundley, 2-1. So last year at this time, Nick Hundley is a Padre, Matt Kemp is a Dodger, Kyle Kendrick is a Philly.
So hard to follow.
Quite an off season around baseball, particularly in our little corner of the world. Check swings that one into one of the booths up here, 2-2.
Yeah, we had our yard sale and next to 2 boxes over. These guys are running after the ball like it's gold plated.
Probably good for them that it was a check swing from Matt Kemp. Two balls and 2 strikes. Stung again out to center field. Blackman trying to track it down, can't get there. Alonso's heading for third. Hoffman again will hold him, and Matt Kemp 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. Like we said, 5 2-base hits this spring for the new Padre right fielder.
Jesse's a comfortable feeling in the batter's box. It doesn't matter if there's 2 strikes and it's elevated. You make a mistake and you pound it. That's what Matt Kemp in this middle of the order is going to do. Just a great piece of hitting by Matt Kemp and feeling comfortable in the batter's box.
Similar situation as the Padres had in the first inning. Second and third with Justin Upton at the plate. Last time it was with 1 out. And as you see, he drove in the Padre run. This time, nobody out. And we'll see how Kendrick works to Upton with Alonso and Kemp aboard. Starts him off with a changeup, 0-1.
Talked to Mark Kotze yesterday when I got into town and about the work ethic of these hitters are going to play. And these guys work. They're in the batting cages early in the morning, putting in their time, and it shows. The process and during batting practice and everyone having a plan of attack. It's very impressive.
Upton a silver slugger last year with the Braves. That one off the handle, shallow left. Barnes coming in. He will make the catch, and that's not deep enough for Yonder Alonso to try and come in and score on. So a shallow fly out off the bat of Justin Upton. Now 1 out, and Carlos Quentin gets his opportunity with a couple of guys in scoring position. Quentin designated hitter tonight. Padres using the DH. Rockies batting the pitcher eighth. Spring training can be quirky sometimes. Carlos can't hold up on that one. 0-1.
You see that cutter away, and you see Blackmon on the right side of second base. That tells me and indicates to me that they're going to try to expose Carlos on the outside part of the plate. You'll see Carlos go to that right center. He has that pop to go out there.
And Blackmon in center, shaded a couple of steps that way. In on the hands, 1-1.
Yeah, the fastballs in that run in to try to expose the hitter and try to open up that outside part of the plate.
Missing there, 2-1.
That's a good take by Carlos. Hit that 1-1 count. They want to show that pitch. It looks like a strike and gets out of the strike zone. And to me, that's the important pitch. And it's number 50 on the night for Kyle Kendrick. He's trying to nibble around the strike zone. See if he elevates one here.
Might see some nibbling from opposing hitters this season. Q lays off again. Now 3 balls and a strike. Will Middlebrooks, next batter scheduled for the Padres.
I think it's a little different this year, Jesse, of walking these hitters and getting into these big innings that possibly could pop the ball out of the yard. And look over in the on-deck circle, and Will Middlebrooks is that guy.
In the dirt, ball 4.
I didn't want any part of him. Like that 1-1 count, that take that Carlos had indicated how Kyle Kendrick was going to throw to him the rest of the at-bat.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Will Middlebrooks singled in his first at-bat. Hitting over 300 this spring. Couple of homers, couple of doubles. Driven in 7 runs, more than anybody else in the starting lineup tonight outside of Matt Kemp. Hits that one in the air to right. Gonzalez coming in over towards the line. And he makes the catch just in fair territory. Alonso was tagging, now goes back. Kemp off of second, the ball into center field. And now Alonso's going to come in and score. And Kemp will go all the way to third. Couple different ways to score a run. That's one. And the Padres take a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, not a good play by Nick Hundley, the catcher. He had Matt Kemp exposed. We'll see Gonzalez, who has a plus arm and very accurate from right field. He throws a strike, and he feels like he has him at second base. Pulls that throw off the rib cage of Matt Kemp. And into center field. And scoring on the play is Yonder Alonso. Just not a good play. Got to make sure you have an out at second base in that scenario.
It was aggressive base running by Kemp. And that's something we've seen a lot of from the Padres so far this spring. So Jed Jerko, runners on the corners, 2 outs. And strike 1 from Kyle Kendrick. That kind of base running can put pressure on a team.
Well, we've seen some aggressive base running in spring training here. I love that because you have to put your time in. First to thirds. It's not necessarily the stolen base all the time. But the first and thirds and taking that extra base when it's right to take it.
Jed in the air to left. Brandon Barnes. Nonchalant. And the side is retired. Padres, though, add a run on the throwing error by Nick Hundley. And the Padres have a 2-1 lead after 3. Baseball, brought to you by Petco, the power of together, and by Saquon, real friendly, real close. Beautiful sunset earlier tonight in the Valley of the Sun. Padres a 2-1 lead on the Colorado Rockies as we open up the 4th inning. With Mark Sweeney and Chris Bunnan, I'm Jesse Agler. That is James Shields. Just one unearned run through his first 3 innings. He struck out 3. And he goes back to work here against the heart of the Colorado order. Carlos Gonzalez, Willeen Rosario, and Brandon Barnes. RBI ground out, first time up. And now strike 1 to Cargo. All-Star in 2012 and 2013, a Gold Glover 3 times. Started off last year in left field, went to right when Michael Kadire was hurt. Fouled away, 0-2.
Well, Jesse, we're seeing 10 of 12 first pitch strikes by James Shields tonight, attacking these hitters. You see the chemistry of Norris, which we always talk about James Shields, but the importance of the catcher element to this equation. Norris looks very comfortable with the first pitch strikes and attacking these Colorado hitters.
Attacking Gonzalez 0-2 and a 3-pitch strikeout to Carlos Gonzalez, 4th K for James Shields here tonight. Yeah, you hear Buddy Black talk about the dynamic and the relationship between the pitcher and the catcher, and he is very into it.
Yeah, first pitch, 2-seamer, but then the cutter to finish off Gonzalez. And it is very important, that relationship, and going over scouting reports. Now they start locking into how they're going to attack the NL West and the rest of the National League and the teams that come in.
Willeen Rosario takes ball 1 low. Somebody asked Buddy early on in spring training, as a former pitcher, what did you want out of a catcher as you started working together? And he said the number one thing is you want to know the guy cares about you, the pitcher, and not just about whatever he's got going on offensively or throwing guys out, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and I think Derek Norris has that. If you watch that element of it, Jesse, he separates his offensive woes that he had early in spring training and locks into that chemistry part of the game. But it's right, and that's what you want. You want a guy that's on your side.
Rosario making his 5th start at first base tonight for the Rockies. Comes up empty there, 2-1.
I think you look at it, Jesse, too, and the amount of times that he is shaken off. When you put down a finger and you have that chemistry, you know what he wants to go to. You take that thinking out of the equation.
And that takes time. Different guys want different things in different spots. As Rosario pops that one up on the infield. Who's it going to be? Alonso taking control, and on the mound he can't make the catch. Rosario was running all the way, and he gets into second base. As tricky for Alonso as he had to run up the hill. And now a quick conversation with Will Middlebrooks.
Well, the element of communication when you have a big league pop-up, and Yonder Alonso, to me, called this very early. But then when you get around that mound, you start losing your legs and the concentration level on the pop-up. That looked to me like it was Will Middlebrooks' ball to catch.
Second error of the night for the Padres. Rosario gets all the way to second. So the tying run in scoring position for the Rockies here in the top of the 4th. And Brandon Barnes, 0 for 1 with a pop out of his own, is at the plate. Pushes one foul.
That's just a weird play to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at where you're hitting in the lineup. Your manager's asking you to drive runs in. You got a guy in scoring position. You're trying to lay down a 1-out bunt. And it was a leg kick bunt, which you don't see very often.
Well, Barnes has talked about trying to use the leg kick this year.
Well, if you're going to use it, you got to swing the bat, right?
Hey, you don't usually see that go with the bunt. It's just a consistent approach, maybe. Had an okay year last year, Barnes. Versatile guy, started all 3 outfield positions. Pickoff play back at second. Rosario back in, standing up. But Barnes said he was never really comfortable last year at the plate.
Yeah, Jesse, a lot of changing around from at bat to at bat. That comes with not playing consistently, fighting the urge to change things. So he took it in his own hands in the offseason and said, hey, listen, I'm going to go back. I want an approach. I want a leg kick that gets me into that locked-in mode. But I always am leery of the leg kick, especially when you don't get consistent at bats. Very difficult to have that timing element to a hitting approach.
And he is an extra guy. Dickerson will be their everyday left fielder. Did lead the major leagues with 17 pinch hits last year.
But it is in baseball, you're seeing a lot of that. Saw Cameron Maben do it a few years ago. There was a real high leg kick, then he modified it, hit a 460-foot bomb with no leg kick. But that's the element that I think a lot of people are trying to implement.
It's that one in the air, shallow left center. Emariste is going back. Looks like Maben takes control of the situation, and he makes the catch for the second out.
Let's take a look at that leg kick, that high leg kick. You see him glide into that baseball, takes you off the barrel just a little bit. It's a nice approach, but when you get that head movement going along with that leg kick, you're going to gain some inconsistencies along with that power element that you receive when you get a mistake.
Shields trying to work around the air. Should be out of the inning. And Rafael Linoa 0 for 1 with a flyout at the plate. And the switch hitter swings to the first pitch and lines one to right. Kemp going back, and it's over his head. That's going to get another unearned run home against James Shields, as Linoa stings an RBI double to tie us up 2-2 here in the top of the fourth.
That's good 2-out hitting by Linoa. Look at this pitch. It looked like a little elevated. At that cutter that didn't cut too much in on the hands. Gets over Matt Kemp. A nice effort going across his body.
Long way to run for Matt Kemp. And Nick Hundley checks his swing. Ball one. See the pitch count for Shields. Again, Buddy Black saying probably 80 to 90 here tonight if they can get 5-6 innings out of that. It's a progression for these starting pitchers in spring training. Shields went just 1 inning in his Padre debut.
Well, Jesse, you see Nick Hundley hitting 7th in Walt Weiss's order with a pitching spot behind him, which changes the element. You got 2 outs. See James Shields. He can throw anything to Nick Hundley because that pitcher spot is behind him. He got the base open. This changes that scenario, and we've seen some of these managers try to incorporate that pitcher in the 8th spot. No one has a crystal ball when it happens, and try to do something different, and sometimes it backfires on you.
I like trying it out in spring training, though. Kind of get a feel for if you like the way it plays out. Not that these games are exactly like regular season games, of course. Fouls that one away. Now 1-2. Mentioned for Colorado, the new general manager, Jeff Bridich. With the Rockies the last 3 years as the director of player development. And he's been around the Colorado organization for the last decade, but giving Walt Weiss a little more rope to try some things out here this spring, including hitting the pitcher 8th.
Yeah, and I think that's important for Walt Weiss. This is a guy with just under 1,500 career games as a shortstop.
Runner tries to go, and the throw down to third is wide of the bag. Nice job by Middlebrooks keeping that one with him. Otherwise, Linoa might have been on his way home, and the Rockies might have been leading 3-2.
Yeah, exactly right. Good call, Jesse, because Will Middlebrooks does a nice job saving this run as Derek Norris pulls this throw to third base.
That's some aggressive base running by Linoa. That ball didn't get too far away from Norris, and he was off and running.
Well, Norris does a good job. This ball is spiked. Very difficult ball to block. He sees it. He thinks he has an opportunity to throw him out at third base.
Runner on third, and a 2-2 to Hundley. Hammered foul. Hundley struck out in his first at bat that ended the second inning against Shields.
And he struck out with that changeup. Let's see if he goes back to that changeup.
Fastball fouled back to the screen.
That changes the eye level when you pitch up in the strike zone. And throwing that curveball and changeup. So many weapons for James Shields to go after certain hitters.
Shields and Norris continue to work through things, get on the same page. And another 2-2 to Hundley. Fouled away once again. Always a little different to see a familiar face in a new uniform.
It is. Loved being in the Padre uniform. It was a tough pill to swallow when he got traded last year to Baltimore.
Got him. Shields and Hundley with a pretty good battle, but James Shields gets him for the second time tonight. 5 strikeouts for Shields and another unearned run for the Rockies. Padres and the Rockies tied at 2, bottom of the 4th inning here at Peoria Stadium on a Friday night, and we're very happy to be joined now by the manager of the El Paso Chihuahuas, Pat Murphy, and the Padres AAA affiliate in El Paso down in the dugout with us. Murph, appreciate the time.
My pleasure, guys.
Tell us about year 1 in El Paso last year. Everything we read and saw, it looked just like an incredibly special season.
Really was special. I was really proud to be part of it. The people there in El Paso, I mean, they were just outstanding. They showed up every night. It made it special. The people that run the club, Alan Ledford, Brad Taylor, special. I can only tell you, man, the best thing I've been part of in baseball.
Well, the fan base was sure important, and you talked about them showing up in forces. That's a great element to the players' perspective, going there and having an atmosphere like that in El Paso.
Amazing playoff baseball almost every night. It felt like that. You know, they didn't care if we're down 5 or up 5. They were going after it. It was their team, their city, and they were very, very proud.
Pat, let's talk about your role, too, in AAA. And you see the aspect that's happening at the big league level, the roster construction that's happened with A.J. Preller and his staff, and evaluating that staff. Now the talent that's been in the big leagues last year are starting to filter down and are going to be on your roster. How do you deal with that mentally as a manager in having those conversations with guys that come down with that disappointment?
Hey, that's the fun part of the job, to be honest with you. That's the part that I really love. A lot of people told me going in, you know, AAA is a really miserable level and, you know, this and that. But I got to be honest, I love it. And I love the challenge of dealing with their head, you know, and trying to help them find their best self and in the way to respond to this situation that sometimes is just a matter of business, a matter of numbers, a matter of, you know, a certain situation. But that's the part I enjoy the most, believe it or not.
I imagine there's so many different types of approaches you have to take. You've got the young guy that's working his way through the ranks, the veteran, Jeff Francoeur, an example from last season, you know, that's kind of been around in some different places, and no two situations are the same.
Yeah, we've signed some great kids, and I think a little key is to have some older guys, some 6-year free agents who really, you know how to mentor young people, and they really make my life so much easier. A kid like Jason Lane has made a huge difference in a lot of young players in the Padres system, and you know, players like that, Cody Decker, you know, the way he handles himself day in and day out. Makes a huge difference.
Let's talk about Jason Lane for a moment. I think it's such a great story. The guy essentially makes it to the big leagues 2 separate times. You know, the first go-round as an outfielder, goes back, reinvents himself, works his way through the system all over again as a pitcher, and he made it to the big leagues with the Padres last year. Did you get to tell him, by the way?
I did, and that was a great moment. And that's the other thing that's great about AAA. You get to have those type of moments, and we try to make them pretty creative. But to have those type of moments to tell players, and you mentioned Lane, wow, I mean, what a story. What a story. And to be with him every day, and to see the way he works at the game, and to see the way he loves this game and loves helping other people, man, he's a key component to this whole organization, in my opinion.
Yeah, Pat, sounds like he sends a message that is through your words, too, and that veteran presence. Let's talk about some of the veteran presence leading down to a guy like Austin Hedges. You're going to have him. This is a catching prospect, a very talented young man. What's the process going into the season for Austin Hedges for you?
Well, no doubt. I mean, he's got to develop. He's got to become a better player. He's got all the skills in the world, but he's got to adjust to the next level of playing, which is AAA, which is a little bit better than AA, and another pretty big step on the horizon to come to the big leagues. You know, it's got to be defense first. It's got to be, you know, understanding his role as a catcher and a leader and handling a pitching staff. Those are the things that have to be emphasized. And his offensive game has got to be second. He's got a ways to go there. He's got a ways to go behind the dish. But, man, this kid's talented.
Pat Murphy's the manager of the AAA El Paso Chihuahuas. Maybe give us a little bit of an idea of what your role is here during spring training. I know you work with some of the minor league guys, but we see you on the bench for these big league games too.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. You know, they've allowed me to do some different things and learn and be around some different environments. You know, hopefully I'm helping some guys down there in the minor league level every day, and I get to come over here and watch the games in the afternoon or in the evening, mostly now. And that's been fun. You know, it's been fun to kind of, a lot of these guys will be with our club, so I get to check in with them. But the work we do with the minor leaguers, whether it's a first-year player or a fifth-year player, it's been rewarding, and you know, I feel really privileged to be able to do both.
Pat, it seems like every scenario with the San Diego Padres has to deal with communication. How does your communication work with Bud Black and the rest of the staff throughout the year?
I'm just thankful, really, the kind of guys they are. I mean, you guys know them, so you know what I'm talking about. I mean, Buddy's so approachable, and Doc. I mean, these people are just wonderful to deal with on a day in and day out basis. And you know, I've got a special relationship with Balls, so it makes it even more fun because I get on him pretty hard. He loves it, but it's wonderful to work with these guys. You know, the front office is the same way. It's the way it is right now. It's a great situation, and the communication is really quite open and pretty often.
Pat, so many times we hear the word passion in baseball, and I know you have a lot of passion in your craft and putting your time into the game of baseball. Where did you find that, and who really influenced you coming up into the coaching ranks?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, I guess it starts with not being a great player, so you better be passionate about the game.
I know that feeling.
Well, I was fortunate enough to, you know, my college coach, a guy named Steve Traylor, he identified pretty quick. He said, Murph, I think you'd love the coaching profession, and gave me some opportunities. My senior year, he even gave me opportunity to go over to the local high school and coach football. And it started there, and I loved it. And sure enough, I kept going from there and got a number of opportunities in the college ranks, and just really got lucky being around great people at great universities. So,
Pat, thank you so much. Really enjoyed visiting with you.
My pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of the night.
Want to work, and they want to work, and they want to win, and they have that kind of desire, which I fit in just right in that situation. So, that's something that you don't have to teach. These guys are ready to go every day, and their willingness to win is at all-time high.
James Shields talking about his new team, his teammates, front office, everybody. It sounds like, because winning is the word this spring for the San Diego Padres, and the start of a very exciting chapter in the history of this ball club. Kyle Kendrick, the pitcher, takes strike one from Shields here in a 2-2 game in the top of the 5th inning.
And talking about embracing it, it's real. If you're around James Shields, you know that that's what he brings into the clubhouse, and the communication that he's brought. It's the real deal. And if you're a Padre fan, you got to be excited, because this slots everyone where they should be. Think of Tyson Ross, the All-Star last year. Electric stuff. No one wants to face him. Andrew Kashner. Then Ian Kennedy. And you don't know who's going to be the number 5 guy, but what a pitching staff.
Nothing in 2. And a broken bat. Slow roller to third. Middlebrook's able to take his time with it. And Kendrick retired for the first out here in the 5th inning. Hey, you talk about the rotation. And Ian Kennedy, presumably in the 4th slot, had over 200 innings pitched and over 200 strikeouts last year.
Yeah, not talked about a lot now, and I think Ian Kennedy loves that, because Ian Kennedy's a frontline pitcher. This is a guy that won 21 games in one season in 2011 with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that was the playoff run for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And he's your number 4 starter. Think about the depth and what they have. That's what you get excited about. You can win every single night with your starting pitching.
DJ LeMahieu takes a fastball outside from Shields. 80 pitches now for James, as you get a look at a couple of guys in the mix in this rotation. Andrew Kashner, hard to miss, front and center. Odrisamer Despaigne to his left. Outside ball 2.
Saw Despaigne throw yesterday. He looked very comfortable. More fastballs for him. Got some strikeouts with some elevated fastballs. That decision still needs to be made from this staff. Who's going to be the number 5 starter?
Despaigne and Brandon Morrow, a newcomer, have sort of been battling that out. Morrow got skipped yesterday, got a blister on his ring finger on his right hand. So Despaigne got the start, as you said, looked nice at Salt River Fields. LeMahieu lines that one into right field. Kemp's going to have to go chase it down. DJ LeMahieu rounding first, heading for second. And he's in there with a stand-up double with one out here in the 5th. Oh, we know LeMahieu can do it with the glove. They don't necessarily need more offense out of him, but it wouldn't hurt. But nice swing on that one.
I think a lot of it has to do with experience for LeMahieu. It's a guy that's not a home run hitter, but he can flash the ball all over the place. And offensively, just putting up more numbers. The doubles, the driving runs in when the tough 2-out hits. That's what they're expecting for. But they want defense. They want to be strong up the middle. And a lot of that has to do with defensive responsibilities.
LeMahieu, a second-round pick of the Cubs back in 2009. Won a College World Series with LSU. That's where James Shields would have gone had he not signed with Tampa Bay. And there's ball one to Charlie Blackmon. A couple of singles for Blackmon. Scored the first run back in the first inning for the Rockies. Both Colorado runs against James Shields unearned. Nice pitch there, right on the outside corner, 1-1. It's fun chatting with Pat Murphy last inning. You see Zach Segovia, one of the minor leaguers, called up for this game, warming up for the Padres down in the pen.
Oh, 85 pitches for James Shields on that throw, 86. Right around 90 is what you'd like to get him. Still building up that arm strength and has another start to go down here in spring training.
Strike two to Blackmon. Figure Segovia might be the guy if Shields hits his pitch count mid-inning. Start fresh with one of the big leaguers in the sixth. Just missing, and a full count now to Charlie Blackmon. Very productive out of the leadoff spot for Colorado last year. Led NL leadoff hitters in RBI, second in home runs out of the leadoff spot. One of the all-stars for Colorado. And Shields and Norris, again, going to have to work a little bit here to get on the same page. Understandable with the runner LeMahieu at second. Get the feeling they might need to chat about this one.
Yeah, and these are scenarios that we talked about, the catcher-pitcher relationship. You see Shields shaking off a lot. These are the things that need to be ironed out down here in spring training. So take a look at Derek putting the signs down. See if he goes to the changeup here.
3-2 to Blackmon is low. And that's a walk from James Shields. The first that he has allowed tonight. So Blackmon aboard for the third time in as many appearances at the plate. And with one out, runners on first and second for Tulowitzki. Fly out last time for Tulowitzki, struck out in the first. 5 Ks for Shields. And that one's hit hard to right. Kemp is charging it. LeMahieu will be stopped at third as the throw comes in a little bit up the line. And now the base is loaded for Colorado with just one out.
Yeah, that's a professional at bat by Troy Tulowitzki. Hitting the ball where it's pitched. If we look at the location of the pitch, ball on the outer edge, a little cutter away, ends up going with that pitch. Very nice at bat.
This is Carlos Gonzalez's spot in the lineup, but Gonzalez left the game last inning. Saw him walk off the field with a trainer. Appeared to be okay, but no real word on that. And so Tim Wheeler in the bottom of the fourth came in to play right field for the Rockies, and now he bats third in the order. So Shields against the minor leaguer gets strike one. 0-1. See the numbers at AAA Colorado Springs last year. Oftentimes in the Pacific Coast League, you talk about inflated numbers. Colorado Springs, one of the big reasons why. The ball flies out of that place.
A lot of good places to hit in that league.
27-year-old has played 6 minor league seasons, and that one gets away from Norris, but up the third base line, and so LeMahieu has to retreat to the bag.
You see Norris behind the plate blocking that one and saving that run. We talk about communication too. Before the game, in game, and then after the game, having conversations of what they can fix, what they can change moving forward. Just getting on the same page, so important in that chemistry between the pitcher and catcher.
When I say kettle corn, I want you guys to say
1-1 to Wheeler is a called strike.
Kettle corn's here, by the way.
Oh, is that what that is?
kettle corn. Kettle corn.
James Shields, by far the most pitches he's thrown in an outing so far this spring.
Kettle corn. Kettle corn.
Rosario, the runner, or the man on deck for Colorado. LeMahieu at third, Blackman at second, Tulowitzki at first. 1 out, bases loaded for Colorado. And Shields and Norris again taking some time to get on the same page. Every pitcher's different.
It's such a different scenario, and think about the chemistry that goes on, the frustrations of leaving a pitch up and then trying to get back on the same page with the catcher.
See the base runners. 1-2 to Wheeler. Misses.
Yeah, quite frankly, Jesse, sometimes a catcher and pitcher will talk about it and say, hey, I don't want you setting up too early. So Derek Norris shifting a little late at that time. Some of those scenarios you just don't want to have them signal in pitches from second base when you have someone on second.
Wheeler hits that one into right field for a base hit. It will score at least one as LeMahieu comes in to score. Blackman being waved. The throw comes into second base, and it's a 2-run single for Tim Wheeler.
This looked to me like a changeup, and it looked like Wheeler sat on this pitch. No, it's a breaking ball. Saw it very well out of the hands of Shields and drives in 2 runs to right.
So Tim Wheeler, up from minor league camp, gets an at-bat probably earlier in the day than he expected, and he answers with a 2-run single to give Colorado a 4-2 lead, and that'll be all for James Shields tonight, done after 95 pitches. Colorado now leading 4-2. New pitcher coming in for the Padres, and we'll tell you all about him when we come back. 1 out, top 5, and runners on the corners for Colorado. They now lead by 2. Rockies now on top 4-2. James Shields done after 95 pitches tonight. A little look back here, Mark Sweeney, on his evening against the Rockies.
Well, if you look at the pure stuff of James Shields, that's exactly what you got tonight. You got some good strikeouts early in the game. Looked like he fell out of rhythm as the game went along just a little bit with a couple defensive plays, but you see the action on the changeup, the cutter on the outside, and punching out Nick Hundley, the former Padre, twice tonight. Saw some good things, and then also you saw the frustration as he talks to Josh Johnson about the start. These guys are going over scenarios, how they would pitch, certain counts. A lot of knowledge from that frontline starter and Josh Johnson, the former Marlin, and also the Toronto Blue Jay. But this is something that you have to do, the communication that they've had in spring training.
So Shields stretches out to 95 pitches tonight. He exits with runners on the corners, 1 out, and Zach Segovia, up from minor league camp, comes in. See his numbers last year in the minor leagues at the AAA level with 3 different teams, and also pitched internationally last season. Second-round pick of the Phillies, now 31 years old. Saw some big league time with Philadelphia back in 2007. And the first pitch is a grounder to short. Amarista with a chance for 1 out at second base.
Oh, nice play by Jed Jerko.
Run comes home, so now 5-2 Rockies. But yeah, kind of slowly hit. Amarista had to go away from the bag at second, and a nice job by Jerko, as you said, staying on the bag and getting the out. So Rosario grounds into the fielder's choice. Rockies lead 5-2. Segovia listed at 6'4", 240. Big boy out on the hill. Mentioned his major league debut in 07 with the Phillies. Also saw action in 8 games with the Nationals back in 2009. We'll check on the runner at first. Colorado got 1 off Shields in the first, 1 in the fourth, and they've added 3 here in the top of the 5th. Barnes is 0 for 2, and he hits that one well into center field. Gets down in front of Maben. Rosario trying to go first to third. He was going all the way, and he'll make it into third base. So some nice hustle by the normal catcher, Willeen Rosario, using the wheels to go first to third with 2 outs.
Well, Jesse, we touched on earlier that leg kick by Barnes. He gets that foot down early. See that head movement. As soon as he gets that foot down, this is a solid line drive to center field. Just builds the confidence when you're taking up a new style, a new approach.
Rafael Ynoa, RBI double his last time up. Colorado Springs last year, AAA, Noah, 297 average, 5 homers, 32 RBI. As we said, Segovia up from minor league camp, the pitcher. So he and Derek Norris have not worked a ton together. So they, like Shields before him, going to have to work to do some quick communication here in the 5th inning. Part of the deal in spring training is minor league players, pitchers and position players being called up, asked to participate in some of the games. Good opportunity for them.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, Jesse, to put that major league uniform on and get opportunities.
Runner goes. Norris throw down to second base, and Amarista just keeps it with him to prevent Rosario from going anywhere at third. Stolen base for Brandon Barnes. First of the spring for him, and now 2 men in scoring position for Colorado.
Yeah, high energy player by Barnes, picks out a great pitch to go on, gets a good jump and slides in safely, just trying to add some runs with those 2 out scenario. Now time called as Norris
and Segovia will chat about this thing.
Well, we talk about the communication with Norris. I don't think he's had some communication with Segovia. He's over in the minor league camp coming over here. Just getting on the same page, trying to get out of this inning.
Enoa, little half swing ground ball to shortstop. Should be routine for Amarista. And they get him by a step at first base for the third out of the inning. Rockies, though, add 3 and lead 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
Here in the bottom of the 5th, the Padres trailing 5-2, and Brady Aiken, the left-handed pitcher, announced yesterday that he underwent Tommy John surgery. Aiken is the former Cathedral standout and the #1 overall draft pick from last year. You may remember that he ended up not signing with the Astros because of a contract dispute. So he was training at the IMG Academy in Florida, hoping to go into the 2015 MLB draft, but underwent Tommy John surgery yesterday. He said despite the surgery that he does not regret not signing, saying, quote, "It was a very difficult decision, but it was an informed decision based on the circumstances that only a few people know about." So a tough situation for a kid that has a lot of talent, guys.
Yeah, Chris, he absolutely does. A local kid in San Diego, and wish him the best in his recovery from that. A very, very interesting situation that played out last year. And I think the key thing is what Chris just said at the end, is that not a lot of information available for those of us who maybe weren't in the Astros front office or working with Brady Aiken and his representation.
Yeah, it's a tough scenario that didn't work out in Brady Aiken's favor, but this is a star left-hander that I think if he gets through this rehab process is going to be a prize addition to a lot of organizations. And if you look at the mentality of an organization now, you're seeing so many of these Tommy Johns. Well, if it's done properly, you can bounce back and almost be better. So if he's having it now, listen, you're going to get a guy that has a fresh arm coming back, hopefully.
Yonder Alonso leading it off. And he takes ball 3 from Kyle Kendrick back out there for his 5th inning of work. Alonso was at the plate when the bottom of the 4th ended. Alexi Amarista trying to take second base was called out at second.
Well, we wish nothing but the best for Brady Aiken and his recovery as well, going through that.
Strike 2 to Yonder. And a lot of people around baseball chiming in about whether Aiken did the right thing last year or not. And look, that's his decision, his prerogative. And as we said, not a lot of actual info out there. Dave Cameron of Fangraphs.com, I thought he wrote something really good today about the situation. 3-2 to Alonso. is outside, ball 4. So a leadoff walk for Yonder here in the 5th. Cameron wrote, the amount of information we have about this situation is the equivalent of knowing a batter's batting average with runners on base in Wednesday afternoon games. And that's exactly right. So all the best to Brady Aiken moving forward. And obviously in San Diego, we'll be watching his career very closely, no matter what twists and turns lay ahead.
I love the Superman t-shirt. I think that's what you get inside. He's going to go through this rehab and embrace it, because hopefully he has a long and successful future.
Matt Kemp twice has been to the plate, twice has hit the ball hard, and twice has ended up on second with a double. There's strike 1.
And a lot of those times Matt Kemp has been behind in the count, still driving the baseball. The last time he was up, drilled a double with 2 strikes.
Out in front of that one, 0-2.
Yeah, a lot of movement on that pitch. That's the best pitch Kendrick has thrown all night.
Norris and Shields continuing the dialogue in the dugout. You like to see that?
I'm sure most of that conversation is going to be in this scenario. I'd like to do this differently, and a lot of it has to do with location and where he's putting it. But I love this. It is so needed in the game, and especially when you have some new players.
0-2 to Kemp, and he tips it into the mid of the catcher, Hundley. So Matt Kemp strikes out. 1 away here in the 5th. You see Josh Johnson there too, and of course he's coming back from his second Tommy John surgery. Maybe ready for the big leagues if everything stays on track early mid-May, maybe into June. And he's here, he's with the team, he's in the dugout, and that was the case all of last season for Josh Johnson when he was recovering and rehabbing from that elbow surgery. And that's not something that automatically happens. Guys that are lost for the year because of something like that, they don't always hang around, and Josh Johnson was there, it seemed, every single day.
And the reason why they don't hang around is because they don't feel like they're needed. Well, Josh Johnson felt like he was needed, and he wanted to learn, and he continued to learn. A lot of the reason he signed back was for Darren Balsley, and he loved the way the organization presented him in that opportunity to stay around.
1-0 to Upton, and he's jammed, pops it up, foul territory right side. Rosario reaching and cannot make the catch right in front of Chris Budden. Chris, we were talking about the pitcher-catcher dynamic.
Yeah, a few starts ago, there was a time where James Shields and Derek Norris, they were having a lot of miscommunication, and Norris actually made 2 mound visits, and there was an interesting moment because Buddy Black went up and started talking with Austin Hedges, and I said, what did you point out there? And he goes, I loved that at that moment with runners in scoring position that Norris was not afraid to go to the mound and have a conversation even twice. He said nowadays young catchers, I feel, are too afraid to go make that mound visit, and it's important in that situation that you open up the dialogue and that you feel comfortable being able to go talk to your pitcher.
That's really good, and exactly what you want out of a catcher.
You do. You want that presence. You want that authority figure behind the plate, the guy that's buying into your process and knows sometimes, hey, you might have a conversation, but you need a breather. Let's get back on track here.
I mean, they've been talking this entire half inning as Upton jackknifes away from that one. This is a conversation that obviously began the first day they met. Derek Norris told us after he was traded here, he spent a lot of time right away watching video of the Padre pitchers, and of course Shields wasn't yet on the staff at that point, trying to learn as much as he could about all of these guys who he'll be handling this year. Upton, hard hit up the middle for a base hit. First hit of the day for Justin Upton, who drove in a run his first time up, and now runners on first and second, 1 out for Quentin. It's going to be all for Justin Upton tonight. Pinch runner Abraham Almonte relieves him. And Walt Weiss looking like he might make a move as well. Comes out to talk to the home plate umpire.
Let's take a look at this shot up the middle, using the middle of the field very nicely by Justin Upton. Been very impressed by his approach and his style of taking batting practice and taking into the game. See Almonte taking over for Justin Upton.
So a double switch, it looks like, from Walt Weiss. Kyle Kendrick, his starting pitcher, looking like he's going to depart with one out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And that will indeed be all for Kyle Kendrick. More from Peoria with the Padres threatening after this. Padres threatening here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We saw James Shields and catcher Derek Norris having a long conversation in the dugout, getting on the same page. And this catcher situation for the Padres so far in spring training, not necessarily what we expected. Tim Fedorovich had the knee surgery, so Will Nieves has sort of been the primary backup here in Cactus League play the last couple weeks.
Yeah, Nieves has gone through that process a lot in his career, being that backup, being there that's needed when an injury happens. And good luxury for the Padres to happen. And they will look through baseball to see if they can patch up that position. You never know what's going to happen leading into this season. That could change.
First and second with one out for Carlos Quentin. Padres down by 3. And a fastball from the new pitcher, Jairo Diaz, comes in outside at 97 miles per hour. See the numbers last year with the Angels. Rockies acquired him this offseason from L.A. Diaz made his major league debut in September, pitched at 3 different levels in the Angel organization last year. And he blows that one by Quentin. 1-1.
Yeah, the first pitch, fastball 97. The 4-seamer, that was the 2-seamer that was also at 97. Power arm out of the right-hander Diaz.
Five and 2/3 innings for Diaz in spring training. As you take a look at Carlos's night. 1-1 is tipped at the plate. Took something off at 90.
Yeah, just backed it off a little bit. 90-mile-an-hour cutting slider. If you're going to pitch out of the bullpen in Colorado, you're going to have to eat some innings, and you're going to have to go back-to-back days. So many times it's very difficult to pitch at Coors Field and very taxing on the bullpen.
Diaz got an opportunity to close some games at Double-A last year. 1-2, just got a piece. That was in on the hands of Carlos Quentin.
Yeah, for Carlos, this is probably the first time he has seen Diaz. Very frustrating. See that 97 out of the hands? You speed up the dial. See getting out of the strike zone a couple times.
Diaz at Double-A Arkansas, 11 for 11 in save opportunities last year. And the Rockies aren't yet looking for their next closer, but the clock's got to be ticking, right? LaTroy Hawkins still getting it done at the back end of their bullpen.
42 years young for LaTroy Hawkins. Former teammate of mine, which happens a lot in the fall league. a pro's pro back end of the Rockies bullpen that I think Walt Weiss loves to have.
18+ years of Major League service time for LaTroy Hawkins. 2-2 is strike 3 called to Quentin. Diaz crossed him up. 2 away. Yeah, Hawkins. Take a look at this last one from Jairo.
Yes, a lot of fastballs and then breaking off that slider on the back door.
So Diaz, a potential arm of the future for the Rockies. LaTroy Hawkins made his big league debut with the Twins in 1995.
Go get him, LaTroy.
Middlebrooks can't hold up there. 0-1. That single for Middlebrooks back in the second inning to lead the frame off. Missing by much. 1-1 to the Padre third baseman is Kevin Quackenbush. Throwing in the Padre bullpen.
Well, now you're seeing the relievers for the Padres back-to-back days. Quackenbush pitched yesterday against the Diamondbacks.
High and tight to Middlebrooks at 95 miles per hour. 2-1.
Now, Jesse, you talk about Double-A and Diaz being there, and you see some big arms in the minor leagues. It's the command of all the pitches, and from the hitter's perspective, very uncomfortable when you see the location being missed by a lot and you see velocity added to that.
Yeah, it's not comfortable. Took something off there, nips the outside corner. 2-2.
And then they dot it with a slider and a nasty pitch. Well, that's what you see in the minor leagues. Very difficult, and that's why sometimes when you see some hitters come up to the big leagues, they actually perform better because the location's better. Seeing guys throw strikes. It's also better stuff up at the major leagues.
Middlebrooks stings that one into left center field. It's going to get down. Alonso being waved home. He will score easily. Almonte goes into third. RBI single from Will Middlebrooks. And now a 5-3 game here in the fifth.
I just continue to be impressed by Will Middlebrooks, his approach and the 2-out hitting and the 2-out RBIs. That's a nice, simple approach. At times, his swing gets a little long, and that's what you heard from the scouting reports leading into this. I have not seen that. He's cut down his swing. He looks very comfortable. Nice night.
And he'll take the rest of the night off as Corey Spangenberg comes in to run for him. Jed Jerko, 2 outs, runners on the corners, and a run in for the Padres here in the fifth off of Jairo Diaz. Up high, ball 1.
Yeah, those managers and hitting coaches love those 2-out RBIs. You can develop that as a club, as a team offense. That can be confident building. I think Mark Kotze would love to see a lot of that, especially early in the season.
Runner goes. Pitch is a called strike, and Spangenberg into second with a stolen base. Corey Spangenberg can do a little bit of everything. Third steal of spring training.
Yeah, good jump by Corey Spangenberg and running on Nick Hundley with that runner on third base. Almonte with speed. That's the reason why you'll see that elevated throw.
Ball and a strike to Jerko. And that one goes all the way to the backstop. Almonte coming home. He will score. Spangenberg goes to third, and it's 5-4.
Well, the good base running by Almonte on the previous single by Middlebrooks affords this play to score a run for the Padres. But this looks like a cross-up to me. Looked like Nick Hundley was going down to block that slider, and he got a fastball that was running inside.
It was thrown so hard, I thought it might bounce all the way back towards home plate. It would have kind of died against the backstop. It's worked out well for the Padres. Spangenberg on third. Jerko lays off. 3-1. Really get a sense of Jairo Diaz here. You see the stuff, you see the velocity, but some control issues.
Yeah, control issues and prized arm, but you have to locate in the big leagues. They love hitting the fastball at this level.
Jerko tips that one into Hundley's men, 3-2. It's coming in hot from Jairo Diaz.
Yeah, I had a hitting coach, George Hendrick, for St. Louis, and he said I could put the barrel on a bullet because they loved hitting the fastball, and that's exactly what you see at the big league level.
Jerko reaches out and fouls that one away.
Jesse, a lot of hitters don't fear that fastball. Yes, there are hitters that typically don't hit the power fastball because that velocity does put a different element into it. But they don't fear it. They fear the movement. They also feel the breaking ball and that changeup that you talked about earlier in the game.
3-2 to Jed is in the dirt. And ball 4. Nice job by Hundley, not letting that one get anywhere. Spangenberg stays at third. Runners on the corners. 2 outs. And Derek Norris gets another trip to the plate. Single and a fly out for Norris tonight. A lot of action behind the dish as well. Ball 1.
Yeah, Jesse, with guys like this that have that command issue, you almost want to look at the center of the plate. Well, looking for that mistake. You're seeing the run on the fastball. You're seeing a changeup, the spike slider.
Yonder Alonso walked to open this inning. Moved up on a Justin Upton single. Pinch runner Abraham Almonte scored on a wild pitch. RBI single from Will Middlebrooks. A couple of runs in for the Padres. And now a 2-ball 1-strike count to Derek Norris.
That's a good take right there. Another 1-1 scenario that want to throw a pitch that looks like a fastball and dives down out of the strike zone. From the hitter's standpoint now, they don't want to go 3-1. You're going to get a better pitch to hit in this scenario.
That one hit him. So Jairo Diaz continuing to have control problems here, and the fastball takes a bite out of Derek Norris, and the bases will be loaded for the Padres.
We talked about uncomfortable at bats. Well, this is one. Stride is towards the first base side, and he unloads a fastball. Just gets away from him.
Pitching coach Steve Foster going to head out and chat with Diaz, try and help him out here. Strikeout, single, walk, hit by pitch. Since Diaz replaced Kyle Kendrick. Steve Foster, new pitching coach this year for the Rockies. Not the easiest job in baseball.
It's a daunting task.
Spangenberg, the runner at third base. Jerko at second. And Derek Norris got to first base the hard way. 2 outs, bases loaded for Amarista. Ball 1. Diaz was a catcher prior to the 2009 season. And converted to a pitcher in 2010. So this is relatively new to him.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of success stories. Kenley Jansen from the Los Angeles Dodgers, a former catcher turned closer.
Amarista down the line, but foul and out of play.
My former roommate Troy Percival with the Angels. He told me he could not hit a lick. And he got on the mound and he looked very fearsome because he had that stride towards first base dugout, and the powerful right-handed arm, and had a great breaking ball to go along with it. A successful closer in the game for the Angels.
Alexi sprays that one foul. Now 1-2. Kind of built like a catcher, Jairo Diaz. They list him at 6 foot 200. Pitching to the little ninja. And grounded over to first base. Rosario thought about tossing it to Diaz and takes it himself. Padres, though, do get a couple. It's a 5-4 Colorado lead after 5. San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Petco, the power of together. By Kaiser Permanente, Thrive. By Harrah's Resort Southern California. And by Hyundai. Visit your Hyundai dealer for our March sales event. Look at downtown Phoenix, just about a half hour away from Peoria, where the Padres and the Seattle Mariners hold their spring training. And the 5th, 6th inning exodus underway here on a Friday night. Some of the starters, pitchers who didn't pitch tonight, head back to the clubhouse. Justin Upton's night is done. Matt Kemp's night is done. Will Middlebrook's night is done. Jed Jerko's night is done. Yonder Alonso's night is done.
And Corey Lupke's going to take a walk with him as well.
A salute from Upton as Kevin Quackenbush heads out to the hill. Saw him warming up last inning. And he will face Nick Hundley to start things off here in the 6th. Hundley tonight 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts against Shields. Quackenbush making his 8th appearance of the spring. Goes up the ladder, and Hundley loses the bat on that fastball.
Yeah, you see 90 miles an hour on that fastball, but elevated. What you like about Kevin Quackenbush is a lot of swing and miss in that fastball.
High and tight to Hundley, 2-1. Nick, as we told you, expected to be the quote-unquote regular catcher for the Rockies. That's one of their big conversation pieces here this spring. What happens behind him? How much time does Rosario get at first base? There's a ground ball to the shortstop. That's still Alexi Amarista. Throws over to Yangervis Solarte, the new first baseman. One away. And of course, one of the big conversation pieces for the Padres is Yangervis Solarte and how he kind of fits in. See him again at first base. He's appeared there a couple of times now.
Well, I think you made a good point, Jesse. Him playing first base, multiple positions. We've seen him at second base last year, third base. But look at that scenario. They'd like to have Will Middlebrooks embrace that challenge and play a little bit. But they also have to get some at-bats for Solarte. A lot of those managers will try to get those bench players and guys that are going to perform for him some at-bats early in the season.
First at bat for the minor league call-up, Jason Langfells. He came on in that double switch to play third base last inning. I loved when Bud Black was asked earlier this spring about reps defensively for Middlebrooks and Solarte, and he kind of went Yogi on it. He said they should take 100% of the reps at third base and another 20% at first.
Hey, listen, you're looking for playing time. You're doing anything that you can help the team win, and you're going to hear that a lot from these Padres. But you have to be versatile in the National League.
Another big swing and a miss on a fastball from Quackenbush by Jason Langfells. Double-A Tulsa Drillers last year at 277.
You see those wide eyes, excitement that goes through these guys. I love that scenario.
1-2 and another fastball blown by him. So Kevin Quackenbush gets the first two men he's faced here in the sixth.
You see that power fastball and you want to swing harder as a minor leaguer, and you see the barrel below this fastball. That's that little second gear that Kevin Quackenbush has on his fastball. It's that quick arm and that spin rate that he has on his fastball.
Quackenbush, for all his ups and downs early in the season, and I don't mean success, I mean his actual ups and downs from AAA to the big leagues, ended up being a huge part of the Padre bullpen in 2014 as LeMahieu singles to right field with two away. What an incredible year for Kevin Quackenbush last year. Not only did he really get some great big league experience and kind of impress at the big league level, but he rode that shuttle back and forth to El Paso a bunch in the early part of the season and didn't let it affect him. Buddy Black, though, wants to come out and chat with him about something here.
Well, Buddy Black picks his spots at times, Jesse, and he'll come out and go through some scenarios and try to get that. But he's going to take the ball from Kevin Quackenbush.
So interesting conversation there, and Buddy may be wanting to get some specialized work in against the left-handed batter Charlie Blackmon, who's due up next as Frank Garces comes in to pitch for the Padres. 2 outs here in the top of the sixth. situational baseball for Buddy Black here in spring training. Padres down a run in the top of the 6th. Now with the left-hander Charlie Blackmon due to bat, he brings in Frank Garces to face him out of the bullpen.
Yeah, Frank Garces has that slow heartbeat that you love to hear from a youngster and embraces some of these challenges. They have to find a lefty that's going to come in and give those tough at-bats against these left-handers. You see Charlie Blackmon tonight having a good night with 2 hits and also the walk to go along. He looks very comfortable. So this is a good challenge for Garces.
You saw the conversation between Buddy Black and Kevin Quackenbush when Buddy went to the mound to take Quack out of the game, and almost got the sense Buddy was explaining the situation to Quackenbush. Hey, I want to get Garces some work against a left-handed batter, because if Frank Garces makes this club, this is the kind of situation he's going to find himself in. Guy on base, lefty coming up.
So true. And if he doesn't make it, he's going to be probably brought up during the year to get in these situations if something goes down. But that left-hander out of the bullpen, sometimes as a manager you don't have to have a lefty, because some of these righties in the Padres bullpen can get the lefties out. But for Bud Black, he wants to find that guy that gives it uncomfortable at bat to these big left-handers in this division.
9th time we've seen Garces this spring. He pitched a good inning against the Dodgers in Glendale on Wednesday, and he delivers strike 1 to Blackmon.
You think about the scenarios, Jesse. Adrian Gonzalez, Justin Morneau, Brandon Belt. Those are the guys late in the game in that 7th inning that you need a big out. You need that left-hander that has that fastball and also slider combination to get those big outs.
Blackmon waits for the 0-1, and the fastball misses high and outside. Troy Tulowitzki, a decidedly right-handed batter, waits next. Doesn't look like anybody's going in the Padre bullpen either. So if Garces doesn't get Blackmon, he may be asked to face another challenge here in the top of the 6th. Nice fastball, and now 1-2. He's a legit major league hitter, Charlie Blackmon. All-star a year ago. Good night tonight. And Frank Garces, who had his first 15 appearances in the big league last season, trying to get him here in spring training 2015.
Let's see if he goes back to that fastball.
It's hit in the air to left. Almonte came in. Now he's got to go back, and he reaches up and makes the catch. Abraham Almonte making a running grab out in left field. Frank Garces got his man. Go to the bottom of the 6th. 5-4 Colorado.
To Arizona here in the bottom of the 6th. Rockies lead at 5-4, and I'm joined with Kevin Quackenbush, who just went out and pitched. How are things going for you so far this spring?
Very good. Having a nice spring. I think it's going to be a good year.
What'd you learn last year? I know we joke about the frequent flyer miles that you racked up going back and forth, but when you look back at last year, what was maybe some of the most important lessons you learned?
Stay within yourself. Don't let the situation, like the traveling back and forth, and let it get to your head and let it get to the game. It's just, you're just going out and pitch. Just do it. Do what you do. Having
the experience that you had last year, does it change maybe the mentality now in spring training? You've had that taste of being the setup guy from last year.
Absolutely. You want to be successful even in spring training. So, I take the mentality like it would be a regular season game.
What's it been like with all the new faces around here, adding James Shields to the rotation? What have you learned from those guys so far?
Oh, it's been awesome. Just watching him work, and he's very good at what he does, so it's been a treat to watch him work.
Buddy Black always game planning. Maybe thought you were going to get a whole inning out there. You get taken out for Frankie Garces coming in. What did Buddy tell you out there?
I just wanted to see Frankie against the lefty, so it's good Frankie got in there and got the out. It's good.
Buddy always game planning. Well, I appreciate the time, guys.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. Quack, appreciate it. Cameron Maben against the new left-handed pitcher, Ken Roberts. And that's a ground ball to Langfells at third. Maben gone for the first out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Sweens, we joke about, the frequent flyer miles for Kevin Quackenbush. He was recalled to the big leagues 5 separate times last year, and all 5 recalls were in a 22-day span, April 25th to May 17th.
Hey, when they call you and you're coming to the big leagues, it does not matter where you are or how you get there.
First at bat of the night for Will Venable. Came in to play right field for Matt Kemp in the top of this inning. He's got to face a big hook from Ken Roberts. That one misses, 1-0.
See the defensive shift to 3 on the right side for Will Venable. See the slow breaking ball from Roberts to Will.
Fastball this time, called strike on the outside corner. See the numbers last year for Will Venable. Hitting .216 this spring, a homer, 3 RBI. Inside with the fastball that time, 2-1.
That's an interesting at bat for Will Venable, and also having Nick Hundley behind him. 2 great friends in the game of baseball came up together in the Padres system.
Big swing and a miss, 2-2.
This is the time in spring training where you look back and say, hey, hook me up with a fastball.
2-2, and it's sprayed foul the other way.
And there it is. He hooked him up.
Sweens, you were talking about the shift on Will Venable and some of the different defensive things that teams do. And obviously, you got 3 new infielders, guys that aren't likely necessarily all of them to make the big league team for the Rockies. As that one's chopped foul. That's got to be a little bit of a different thing these last couple of years, because there's so much game planning now that goes into defensive positioning on the infield that maybe wasn't happening a few years back. And so these minor league guys and these non-roster invitees, that's a whole nother thing for them to have to pick up.
Agreed. And you're going to get that from the process. These young guys watch the major league games, so they're seeing it in.
Talk about the shift, and Langfells positioned almost perfectly for that one, 2 away.
But it is, Jesse, it's a good point that you make. It's a different scenario. You'll probably see it a little bit more in the minor leagues, and they're shifting on the style of a player. But most of these guys, especially Walt Weiss, a manager, and you made the point earlier in the game, he has a little more leeway this year, and he's open to those defensive shifts. This is a guy that played shortstop, a premium position, in the big leagues for almost 1,500 games. He knows the style of defense and where you have to prioritize and play defense.
Jan Hervis Solarte for the first time tonight at the dish.
But I see it. You see Walt Weiss there coming into his 3rd year as a manager. But you see those scenarios playing out in the game of baseball. I think a lot of it has to do with getting in the hitters' heads as well. It's not necessarily just playing defense. I think they do get into the heads of these guys.
Solarte, and another opportunity at third for Langfells. 1-2-3 inning out of the bullpen for the lefty Ken Roberts. Go to the 7th in Peoria. Rockies leading by a run. Alexis lead here in the top of the 7th inning. Frank Garces back out to work, and plenty of excitement laying ahead for this Padres team. Season about to start. Our last telecast from Peoria coming up on Tuesday night against Kansas City. Got the exhibition against the Mexico City Red Devils on April 4th, and then the first game of the season, Monday, April 6th. You can tune in for coverage beginning at noon here on Fox Sports San Diego. And then, of course, the home opener, April 9th, against the defending World Series champions. This, Mark Sweeney, is a great time of year.
April 6th is very exciting. I know a lot of Padre fans are. And take a look at the communication. We talked about this all night. Derek Norris talking to Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, and the scenarios of what they went through. And I guarantee it's about James Shields and what they're going to do differently moving forward. And I love it. The communication that Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, has with this entire staff, and especially the catching. They marvel at his scouting reports and how he game plans taking into the season.
Joey Wong, left-handed batter, getting his first trip to the plate here tonight. Takes strike one from Frank Garces, who got his man, Charlie Blackmon, in the 6th.
Yeah, a nice play by Almonte going back on that ball. And Frank Garces comes in and looks like he's going to have back-to-back lefties to go after.
Wong, an Oregon State guy, 24th round pick back in 2009. Last year, 83 games at AA Tulsa. Hit .221 with a homer. And he hits that one on the ground sharply, but to Amarista at shortstop. And a nice job by Solarte handling that throw over at first base. Not a lot of time for Yangervis Solarte at first, but a good job there.
Yeah, and some of the challenges over at first base when you haven't played that enough is the first base footwork around the bag. See Yonder Alonso picking balls out of the dirt because his footwork is so much better. If you take a look at this throw, Amarista comes up and throws, and sometimes these infielders will cut the baseball. It'll cut late. That's the reason why you don't want to stretch too early. But those challenges when you don't play a position and you're thrown over to first base can be very difficult and challenging at times.
Tim Wheeler's Sacramento guy takes high, ball one. First round pick back in 2009. Saw him with a 2-run single back in the 5th inning after coming in for Carlos Gonzalez. And the word, by the way, on the Rocky right fielder is that he's got a sore knee.
Yeah, that's not a good scenario.
Normally you hear sore knee in a spring training game, and we saw the guy walk off the field looking all right. You wouldn't necessarily think too much of it, but with the injury history of not just Gonzalez, but this entire Rocky team the last couple of years, you got to figure they're holding their breath a little bit in Denver.
Yeah, you have to take precautionary measures and be extra cautious, especially here in spring training.
Wheeler out in front, 1-2.
And the reason for that, because you can get at bats in minor league games for Gonzalez. He's going to be ready, and if he's not ready and maybe a tick off, he's still going to be in there in that lineup. But with that knee scenario, just barking on him, that's not something that I think Walt Weiss wants at this time of spring.
Garces delivers a 1-2 high. Rocky Gale into the game in relief of Derek Norris, who you saw chatting with Darren Balsley. Wheeler lays off that offering from Garces. So now a full count, 3-2. Always interesting to see how a relief pitcher works when he finishes one inning and is back out there to start the next.
Yeah, he's back out there, and the catcher that he worked with in AAA might be a comfortable scenario. They've already gone through some of these scenarios at that level.
Mentioned the knee soreness for Carlos Gonzalez last year. Missed a lot of time, as did Troy Tulowitzki. This is really interesting, though. I mean, the winning percentage is a little bit different, but you look at the team runs per game, that next to last one, not hugely different without those two in the lineup.
And that's surprising to me because we always talk about the presence.
That one sprayed in the air down the left field line. Almonte giving chase. It's a foul ball.
And when you mention the presence of those two hitters in the middle of the lineup, I know Walt Weiss wants to pencil those in every single day. But when you have them out, you see the numbers that still continue to rise. That tells you what the reserve players or the guys that are filling in are doing. They're going to score some runs. I think for the Colorado Rockies, if you look at the scenario that they went through last year, losing 60 games on the road, that has to be fixed. Only 21 wins on the road.
And they were absolutely dreadful after the All-Star break. 3-2, swung on and missed. Nice fastball from Garces. Takes care of Wheeler, 2 away. After the All-Star break, Colorado lost 30 of 35 away from Coors Field.
Yeah, that's devastating. And then you talked about it, Jesse, that fastball by Garces that's elevated. It's underneath the barrel off of that slider. But yes, the scenario for the Rockies, they have to play better on the road. I think that Gage is playing .500 baseball on the road, and they were far from it. That's the worst in franchise history, 60 losses.
Another at bat here for Rosario, and a right-hander for Garces to work to. And of course, kind of tale as old as time for the Rockies. Crazy splits home and away as far as batting average, and it's a tough place to pitch. Continues to be a challenge for the organization. Sprayed foul down the right field line.
Well, I think in meeting those challenges, Jesse, you have to have mentally tough players that are going to go on the road and embrace those challenges. You know, you hear it so much, you start believing it. Well, I watched Larry Walker and Todd Helton play in that uniform. I don't think they worried about going on the road and hitting and being productive. Yes, those are the extremes. Those are the elite players, but those are the ones that you're going to win with.
1-1 to Rosario, and that's a base hit into right field. So Willeen Rosario picks up his first hit of the night. And Justin Morneau, sort of the latest guy to take advantage of the atmospheric conditions in Denver. He won the batting title last season at .319. But I mean, look at this. The team has only been around Sweden since 1993, and all of those guys have won the National League batting crown.
Well, the talent is there, and those big names are very impressive. Larry Walker, arguably to me, was one of the best all-around players I've ever been around. Todd Helton, an established hitter that just tore it up night after night. But yes, the confidence level at Coors Field, you see the ball so well there. There's big gaps, and obviously you have the home run element added to that adds confidence to these hitters. But I think one of those great stories of the game was Justin Morneau coming off the head injuries and the concussion syndrome and winning the batting title. It's a great story last year.
Brandon Barnes now 1-1 after missing that Garces fastball. Barnes singled his last time up, stole a base, 1 for 3 on the night. Fouls that one off the leg, 1-2.
That should be 2 strikes. Hit it twice.
It is a 2-strike count. And the 1-2 from Garces is a fastball high. 2-2. Got to figure Buddy Black evaluating Frank Garces here tonight. It's not a given necessarily that the Padres will carry a lefty in the bullpen, but you'd expect it. And Alex Torres, sort of the incumbent. Seen Chris Rierick look good. 2-2 to short. And Marista goes the easy way, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. Nice work again by Frank Garces. Stretch time in Peoria. Padres down by 1.
San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Very nicely done. Some Padre fans looking on and enjoying as the left-hander Boone Logan comes out of the pen for Colorado.
Yeah, the left-hander that has to have big innings for Walt Weiss and this bullpen staff. See the numbers there. The ERA spiked last season, but went through some injuries.
20th round pick of the White Sox back in 2002. Made his big league debut for Pale Hose in 06. Also pitched for the Braves and the Yankees. First year in Colorado last year. Switch hitting Abraham Almonte. First at bat after coming on as a pinch runner in the 5th. And he goes after the first pitch and hits it in the air to the right side of the infield. Galvez makes the catch. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Boone Logan here in the 7th. Tommy Medica going to be the pinch hitter. This is Carlos Quentin's spot in the order. Q is the DH here tonight. And you see the numbers last season for Tommy Medica? How about the numbers in spring training for Tommy Medica? They have been pretty much off the charts once again.
That's the reason why he has a big smile on his face.
Takes ball 1 there. 4 home runs. An average in the 480s for Tommy Medica.
Yeah, I'm just kidding here. That he's got a smile on his face because they're having communication between one another. Nick Hundley, the former teammate, and Tommy Medica.
Big swing and a miss, 1-1.
You know, this is a good scenario. You talk about evaluating certain aspects of the game and how you do that. This is a scenario for Tommy Medica coming off a bench, taking that tough at bat against the tough left-hander. That single bat evaluation for Bud Black.
Out in front again of an off-speed pitch, 1-2. Another decision for Buddy Black and company. A.J. Preller, the front office, the coaching staff. Where does Tommy Medica fit in? He's the opening day left fielder last year against the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's going to change a lot with the opening day scenarios. It looks like Jerko and possibly Yonder Alonso are the only holdovers from last year's opening day. But for Tommy Medica, forcing the hand, that's what your responsibility is as a player. Coming into spring training prepared, ready, and he looks very comfortable. Had a good spring training last year and continues to be hot this year.
Two is low.
You know, Jesse, there's so many players, and the everyday players get to take at bats and take it a different style. Well, Tommy Medica comes into spring training, and every at bat is his last at bat, and that's how you have to take it mentally. So these guys have to come into spring training ready. They can't get ready for the season. This is their season.
3-2 is fouled off Hundley, I believe. And yes, that is a successful spring.
Yeah, the slugging percentage, the RBIs, the total bases. He's driving that opinion, and when these coaches and staff members have meetings, hard not to talk about Tommy Medica in that scenario. That's hot. When he gets hot, very tough out.
3-2, and he hits that one hard over towards the Padre dugout. Had a 2-run blast on Sunday in Mesa against the Cubs. Hit one into the bullpen here against Arizona on Saturday. And his first home run this spring came off of John Lester back on the 16th. A 2-run homer to left center. He enjoys himself in Arizona. Still smiling.
I love it. I'd smile if I was hitting 500.
3-2, and it will be snagged at first by McBride, but he's not going to have a play.
No chance. Keep that smile on your face, Tommy, and keep raking.
That's another base hit for Tommy Medica here in spring training. Nice effort by McBride. but no chance.
Yeah, with 2 strikes. And this is what Tommy Medica's done. He's cut his swing down. He's let that ball travel just a little bit. That scenario has a great effort by McBride, like you talked about, Jesse.
That's a catcher, by the way, McBride, making that play at first base. Getting some run over at first. Nice job there. So with 1 out, a left-handed batter for Logan to face. Corey Spangenberg. Pinch ran in the 5th. First at bat.
Jesse, we talk about the times that you evaluate in the process of what coaches look at. You look at that last at bat by Tommy Medica. Got full complement of pitches by Boone Logan, an established left-hander out of the bullpen. And he had a solid at bat. 2-strike hitting. Let the ball travel, and he saw every pitch out of Logan's hands.
Strike 1 to Spangenberg. Medica, runner at first base. And the third baseman Langfell's backing up now. He's kind of in on the grass a moment ago. Just in case Spangenberg wanted to try and push one over there. Instead, it's a roller over there to second for 1 and on to first. And Spangenberg runs far too well for the double play. Fielder's choice, and Corey Spangenberg aboard with 2 outs. Still can't wipe the smile off Medica's face.
Yeah, this is when everyone wants to rub against him. Give me your luck. All those scenarios, but they know he's putting solid at bats out there every time he steps in that batter's box.
A lot of high fives in the dugouts as Ramiro Pena stands in for his first at bat of the night. Came in as a defensive replacement last inning. Check on Spangenberg. Certainly capable of stealing a base.
Yeah, 2 outs. Not a bad scenario to try to go on first move, possibly, with a left-hander.
Spangenberg 2 for 3 in the stolen base department this spring.
That might buy Pena a fastball here.
It is a fastball, missing. 1-0. You saw the numbers for Pena. Those came in Atlanta. Played in 81 games with the Braves last year. Started 29 of them. Started games at second, at short, at third. Another one of those, veteran, versatile guys that has value in the National League.
Versatility plays everywhere. The way the managing style of Bud Black, those double switches late in the game, protecting your bench, comes into play.
Finished last year strong. Hit .340 from July 10th through the end of the year, and then had a great winter league. Played in the Caribbean Series. And he breaks his bat, and the ball goes the opposite direction that the bat did.
We could have a campfire tonight.
Yeah. Join us again Tuesday night. Final telecast from Peoria. Defending American League champion Royals make the quick drive from Surprise to take on the Padres.
Yeah, Jesse, we thank Pat Murphy for joining us, but you see Jason Lane, he talked very highly of Jason Lane and what he brought to his club as that veteran presence, what he's been through in his career. It's a reason why they have a great relationship.
A little bit outside, 3-1.
Jason Lane, went over to the minor league complex the other day when the big league club went off on the road, and who comes over? Jason Lane from a big league camp, and he wants to just watch batting practice. He's over there talking to the guys. It's a great teammate. That goes a long way in this whole process that he's been through.
Pena tips that one at the plate. Strike 2. Ramiro hitting .308 this spring. RBI, double. Buddy Black said earlier this spring, Ramiro Pena, the kind of guy you don't have to worry about. It's a nice compliment.
That's a great compliment coming from a manager. You know he's going to put the work in. He's going to be ready and prepared.
Runner goes, and that is strike 3. So Boone Logan comes on, and he strands a runner. We'll go to the 8th inning in Peoria. Rockies still up a run.
into the center field gap. You got to love the approach by Matt Kemp. He's a difference maker, and Bud Black just sits back, and he's going to watch this offense put on a show throughout the season. Got our good friend Mark Loretta hanging over the railing.
Matt McBride made the nice play at first base last inning on the infield single by Medica. Gets his first at bat of the night.
You can't get Medica.
He runs really well for a guy that came up as a catcher. Sean Kelly, the new pitcher for the Padres, 8th appearance of the spring. Saw him against Seattle 3 days ago. And McBride reaches for that one, hits it in the air down the right field line. Venable in foul territory, does a nice job tracking it down and making the catch, one away.
Oh, that was good by Will Venable. This is a ball that always goes towards that line, especially off the right-hander. But he put his head down and gained some ground, and then just glides over to that foul line. Runs out of space, but the concentration level for Will Venable was that first step, put his head down and gain some ground, made it a lot easier than it was.
The Padres outfield situation, of course, is not crystal clear right now, aside from, we assume, are the 3 starters, as Nick Hundley misses that fastball from Kelly. But boy, Will Venable is a valuable piece. Left-handed bat, runs well, and maybe most importantly, Sweens, he can play all 3 positions.
Jesse, we talked about it earlier, and we continue to talk about, even off air, of how valuable Will Venable is going to be to this club. Don't sleep on that and just expect these 3 guys to play every single day. Will Venable is going to be that double switch guy, gives you a tough at bat. This is a pro's pro. He's going to be prepared and ready for those scenarios.
Another pro's pro there, Nick Hundley. Kelly, one of the guys that A.J. Preller traded for this winter. Maybe not as discussed as some of the others. Pitched with the Yankees. Acquired on December 29th. So 10 days after all the craziness went down with that flurry of moves.
And oh, by the way, we got Sean Kelly coming. We got a power arm added to what was a great bullpen last year.
When the Yankees picked him up, by the way, they got him from Seattle a couple of years ago. Who was he traded for? Abraham Almonte. This is Venable again. A little easier than the last one, and 2 away here in the 8th.
Jesse, so important for now, and you saw what the Kansas City Royals did in shortening the games, locking that in, and for the Padres, that specialty of where everyone fits in the bullpen. But you have to shorten games, but you also have starters that can go longer in games, give these guys a day off. It's going to be interesting to see how Bud Black constructs his newly acquired bullpen.
Langfell's the third baseman, getting his second at bat, takes outside. How about Frank Garces tonight? Inning and a third, a hit and a strikeout. Nice to see.
Yeah, very impressive. You know, Charlie Blackmon put a good at bat on him and hit that elevated fastball that Almonte made a nice play and left on. But after that, settled in and looked very comfortable.
Kelly ahead of Langfell's, a ball and 2 strikes. See when these guys get called up from minor league camp, they wear the double ear flap helmets.
Yeah,
like they do in the minors. One, 2 from Kelly. Misses with the fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kelly, a definite key guy in the pen last year for Joe Girardi. '59 appearances out of the bullpen. That was a career high. 2-2, tipped into the mid of Rocky Gale, and that is strike 3. A nice 1-2-3-8 for Sean Kelly out of the pen. And we'll go to the bottom half. Colorado up 5-4. Of the 8th inning, we saw Will Venable make a couple of nice plays in the top half of the 8th inning out in right field, and it is a crowded outfield, is it not, Mark Sweeney?
6 players for probably 5 positions. I don't know how they're going to handle covering all 6. But you look at Will Venable, and we chronicled his importance on this club, especially being left-handed hitter and the defensive ability to play all 3. See Cameron Maven playing center field tonight. And where Carlos Quentin fits in, a lot of those, the injury history and how those knees are going to perform. It'll be an interesting scenario. These are the questions moving forward for this organization.
Crowded bench for Buddy Black. Mark Kotze, hitting coach, discussing things with the skipper. As Alexi Amarista waits to hit second this inning. Rocky Gale will get his first at-bat of the night against the ageless wonder, LaTroy Hawkins. 42 years old. And that's strike 1.
Yeah, here's the veteran right-hander, LaTroy Hawkins, 42 years old. You see the numbers. Still has that plus fastball. Much like the veteran that the Padres have in Joaquin Benoit, this is a guy that stabilizes the bullpen.
Gale rips that one over towards the Padre dugout. Look out.
And there's Mark Kotze, and talking to him and others around camp, they love what Mark Kotze brings to the cages every morning. His positivity, loves the way these guys are working, and loves his opportunity that Bud Black and this front office has given him to get back on the field, get back in a uniform. Only 2 years removed from playing.
It's been fun watching him work with the guys. He brings a very real intensity to the program. 0-2 to Gale. And a little chopper. Hawkins, good athlete still. 1 away.
Yeah, saw Mark Kotze today have his son Trey on the field. You see a lot of the guys that are out here for a long period of time that are away from their families. They come out, they get in uniform. It's always great to see the kids around the field. And family is so important to Mark Kotze, but also giving back to the game. The scenario that Mark Kotze loves, he loved playing, but also now it's about how can I give back? How can I lend all that information that I received throughout my career?
Amarista 1 for 3 tonight as Hawkins bounces one in.
you think about those scenarios and why I think Mark Kotsay is going to be successful as a hitting coach. He's been around a lot of them. He's moved from team to team. He's been around a lot of good ones. He's heard a lot of knowledgeable things. And also, this is a pro's pro, a guy that's been everything to a major leaguer, an everyday player, a bench player. And he can adapt to everybody that's in that locker room and all of the hitters that come into that cage. And he's going to mesh real well with Alonzo Powell, the assistant hitting coach.
Mark Kotsay, 3 years younger than LaTroy Hawkins.
It's got to be weird.
Hawkins in his 21st big league season. Here's all you need to know. Not all. LaTroy Hawkins born December 21st, 1972.
Wow.
Still going strong in the big leagues as he delivers strike one to Amarista. Last year for the Rockies, first season in Colorado, appeared in 57 games. Saved 23. Had an ERA of 3.31 in Colorado. Three and two.
And Mark Kotsay looks like he's either going to sneeze or he's going to fall asleep in that chair.
I think it's the Arizona allergies.
He looks like, listen, this is a grind, and he understands the importance of this position. But they put a lot of hours in. I can't stress the amount of hours they put into the cages, on film work.
Alexi lines that one into left field. Second base hit of the night for Amarista. One out single here in the eighth. And the other remaining starter still in the game for the Padres will come to the plate. Amarista's gone the whole way at shortstop. And Cameron Maben started in center. And getting another at bat here in the eighth.
Well, with Alexi on first base with one out, he's got to look for the ball in the dirt. At times, LaTroy Hawkins will spike that curveball.
Fouled off at the plate.
It has to be in your mind so you anticipate it before it happens, because in this scenario, being down one, got to try to get into scoring position for Cameron Maben.
Amarista 0 for 1 trying to steal here in the spring, but you know he's got the wheels. Maben tipped that one at the plate into the mid of the new catcher Castile, so 0-2. Hawkins, Minnesota in 1995. That's when he made his debut. He's pitched for the Cubs, the Giants, the Orioles, the Rockies another time, the Yankees, the Astros, the Brewers, the Angels, the Mets, and then back to Colorado last year. That's a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. It got by Wong. Amarista will slam on the brakes and head back to second. A couple of singles for the Padres here in the eighth, trailing by 1.
Well, good for Cameron Maben, because this is a slide step by LaTroy Hawkins. And with that slide step, he elevates it. Cameron Maben gets that foot down early, drives the ball up the center of the field. It's a nice piece of hitting off the closer of the Rockies.
There's a real big league pitcher here in the bottom of the eighth. And a couple of real big league batters have reached against him. Here's Will Venable for the second time tonight. And Will hits it in the air to left. White is going back on the track, reaching up and can't make the catch. Amarista had to hold. He's going to come around and score. They're going to wave Maben. Here comes the throw to the plate. Not in time. And Will Venable ties it up and gives the Padres the lead.
Jesse, you got to love this approach by Will Venable, taking something elevated and driving this baseball to left field. This is an elevated fastball that you backspin. That's exactly what he did. And a great effort by the left fielder. Goes against the wall and then pops it out of his mitt. And And credit Cameron May, been hustling all the way around the base and scoring that go-ahead run.
6-5 Padres.
Jesse, I think if you look at the scenario moving forward with these Padres, winning these close games early in the year is going to set a tone and give that and mesh them all together. It's going to be very important to watch.
Solarte takes strike one.
They have the star power. They have the type of players that can win you ball games late. At times last year you felt like you were defeated when the team got down. And winning those games in April is going to go a long way in trying to build the chemistry of this club.
First time the Padres have led since it was 2-1 in the third. And Hawkins trying to keep Venable close by the bag at second. There's a nice effort by White out in left field, but Will hit that ball very, very well.
Yeah, you mentioned the scenario of how important Will Venable is going to be. Well, those late inning at bats when he's double switching for a position change and doing just that. It's going to be a different approach for Will Venable because he's played a lot in the last few years because of injury, because forced to play. I think he's going to benefit from those scenarios on this club.
Oh, 2 to Solarte is low. Brandon Maurer, another one of the new Padres out of the bullpen, hard throwing right-hander. All of a sudden finds himself in a save situation, assuming the score stays 6-5 or 7-5 or 8-5. Inside, ball 2.
LaTroy's missing with location, so you have to capitalize on that.
A lot of times you look at a spring training box score, you said, they did it late, probably against some minor league pitcher. This is the Rockies closer. Just missing. And now 3-2 to Solarte after he was behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's a good take right there. Some people might say too close to take, but that ball was on the edge and running. And just seeing it out of the hands of LaTroy Hawkins.
They're making him work, and they've struck back for a couple of runs. Venable leads. And the 3-2 to Solarte is hammered into right field for a base hit. Hoffman will wave Venable. Here comes the throw from Wheeler. It is not in time. And Yangervis Solarte comes up with an RBI single and extends the lead 7-5.
So many times it's the pitch beforehand of the result, and you take that 2-2 pitch just off the plate and you get this high changeup, it looked like, to Solarte. Yeah, that's the changeup out of the hands, and that's what you have to do, capitalize on those mistakes. But the 2-2 pitch got him to this scenario where he got a better pitch.
Abraham Almonte, second at bat after coming on as a pinch runner for Justin Upton. And there's a ground ball to second base. Galvez goes to second and back to first, not in time. There's more hustle on the base paths by the Padres, and Almonte keeps this thing going against LaTroy Hawkins.
For Solarte, just trying to get in the way of this turn. Nice turn in the middle of the field. You slide early, but nice hustle by Almonte getting down the line.
Tommy Medica with Almonte on first. Infield single his last time up.
Just brimming with confidence for Tommy Medica.
Hitting .500 this spring. Strike one. Saw a lot of smiles for Medica in his last at bat, conversing with Nick Hundley, who's now out of the game. Saw some more smiles when he got the base hit. Takes inside. 1-1. Up over 20 pitches now for Hawkins. And he reaches for that one and hits it on the ground to short. Wong will go the short way. And that is the final out of the inning. The Padres don't get 3. Will Venable a 2-run double. And San Diego up 2, headed to the 9th. Cactus League Baseball here in 2015. Padres coming from behind and now have a 2-run lead on the Colorado Rockies. It really moves that fast. Brandon Maurer, the new pitcher, out trying to close this thing off for the Pods.
Yeah, good to see Brandon Maurer coming out of the bullpen of the Padres. And some people say a future closer in the making with the stuff that he has. Both a starter and a reliever in the big leagues. And had a lot of success out of the Seattle bullpen last year, as you could see.
Pitched an inning on Wednesday against the Dodgers. Allowed a run on a hit in the 6th. And yeah, time in the rotation and in the bullpen. This year, Padres have made it pretty clear Maurer is a relief pitcher. Cesar Galvez for the first time tonight at the plate, and he takes ball 1 from Maurer.
Yeah, a lot of those scenarios of those numbers that you saw of Maurer were because of his starts. Struggled at times starting, and it elevated some of his ERA, but sometimes you go out of the into the bullpen, you get a little more aggressive, throw all your pitches, you don't reserve yourself a little bit. And that's what you hear about Maurer, the electric stuff, the fastball slider combination.
1-2 to Galvez, and off the handle into center. That's Maben coming on, diving, and did he make the catch? He did. Hey, Cameron Maben. You know he can go out and get him. And he got that one.
Well, aggressive first step by Cameron Maben. First step is so important if you're going to make these type of plays, but the athletic ability, nice piece of hitting. And shooting that gap, and you could see going across his body, laying out for his club. Very athletic play by Cameron Maben.
That's 1 out. Wilson Soriano. First time up. Takes a fastball strike from Maurer. Soriano played at 3 levels last year for the Colorado Ball Club. Strike 2. 9 games with Modesto. 28 at Grand Junction. 14 at Tri-City. speed guy. Bunch of stolen bases in his minor league career. Second base, third base, shortstop. Reminder, Tuesday, final telecast from Peoria. Royals and the Padres, another night game. Ground ball to second, that's Ramiro Pena. Two-way.
Well, the first live look of Brandon Maurer. I love how he works. He's got a good pacing in between pitches, that aggressive nature. Aggressive with his fastball, movement on the fastball, and also that slider. When he gets on top, it's lights out.
Maurer trying to close off Colorado and cap a come-from-behind win for the Padres. Friars got 3 off of LaTroy Hawkins in the bottom of the 8th. And that's strike 1 to Joey Wong. Maurer last year's spring training. Played his home games here as a member of the Mariners. Strike 2.
That looked like a little changeup there. A good late movement. 87 miles an hour on the changeup. Backdoor slider.
And a ground ball to the left side. Nicely done at third by Spangenberg. Spinning. And the ball game is over. That was fun. Come from behind win for the Padres. They beat the Colorado Rockies 7-5 on a Friday night. Take a break. Come back with some final thoughts right after this.